This June 12th, 1 week ago. That is the date of the last completed baseball game concerning the Bethesda Big Train. Since then, a torrent of vengeful rain has kept the home team from taking the field for more than 3 innings at a time. But tonight, one of the marquee contests of the yearly calendar, the clouds appear to have parted long enough to allow us to play some baseball here at Shirley Povich Field. Welcome to the Clarence Israel Juneteenth Classic on the Big Train Baseball Network. The Big Train celebrate a Montgomery County baseball legend in Clarence Pint, Israel tonight in their 4th annual Juneteenth Classic. We are thrilled to be here with you for this monumental game. Alongside Eliav Brooks Rubin, I'm Jackson Corcoran. Gibson Hurt is over on the 1s and 2s. Eliav, it is just wonderful to be back at the ballpark today.
Yeah, we've been here a couple times. Yesterday, we thought we were going to get a game in, and eventually we're delayed and got rained out. That's happened a couple times, and like you said, it's been a whole week since last Thursday where the Big Train picked up their 4th consecutive win, what feels like an eternity ago, in a 5-3 victory over Olney. That was the last time we completed a baseball game. 3 games have been finished in the Cal Ripken League since then. Gaithersburg participating in one of those. But it's been a while, and we'll see whether there's rust to be shaken off by this Big Train team that went into this rain break week as hot as any team in the league.
Yeah, the Big Train are still running a 4-game win streak. It doesn't feel like it because their time off has lasted as long as the streak itself did in terms of games played. But they're still, in wins and losses terms, they're pretty hot, and they're going to a hot pitcher on the mound today, Eliav.
Yeah, Kide Atatui, an argument for the best pitcher so far for the Big Train. 2 positive decisions. First time out was all the way back the first Friday of the season. That was about 2 weeks ago. Pitched 3 innings, gave up an earned run, struck out 4, got the win in that one. And then last Thursday, the last time we were out, Kide Atatui finished the game. He's the last pitcher to pitch for Big Train in a non-suspended game. We played a couple innings last Friday. He got the save, struck out the side in the 9th to take down Olney.
And he'll meet one of the league's hottest hitters to start off this game, Jaden Brown. He leads the circuit in batting average and slugging. The first pitch to him is cracked towards second base over the leaping glove of Brennan Wright and into right field. And the first pitch of this ballgame results in a Jaden Brown single.
Yeah, he's been doing a lot of that this season. 15th hit for Jaden Brown in 31 at-bats. Came into the league leading, like you said, hits, average, slugging, OPS. He's got 5 extra base hits, that time held to a single, but he's been hitting balls hard all season long.
Here are the starting lineups for these two teams. Brown started it off for the Giants. Then it's Orr, Hughes, Babayev, Rudisil, White, Powell, Ruiz, Weiss, and Marino with Carls on the hill.
Carls has been maybe Gaithersburg's best pitcher so far this season. It's been a tough season for Gaithersburg on the mound. We'll talk about that a little later, but Carls is going to give them as good a shot as anybody to win this ball game.
The Giants are 1-8, 0-5 in road games this year, while the Big Train are just one game out of the North Division Conference lead. That's popped back to Attitude. He goes to second base, right over to first, through the glove of Gonzalez at first. So Danny Orr will run it out, beat the wrap to eliminate the double play, but they get the lead runner.
Big Train, the last time we saw them play a full game, struggled defensively. Were credited with 4 errors in that game. That won't be an error, but nearly a chance to eliminate Brown on the base paths in turn 2. Instead, there will be 1 out. Oh, and they do score that as a error on top of the fielder's choice, which, again, I've had some issues with the scorer's decisions at Shirley Povich, actually at every field we've played at, and that's another one where I just don't think there should be an error on that play.
Well, I believe there, by rule, can't be an error on that play because you can't assume the double play once you've gotten the out. I'm not sure of the exact ruling. I may be pulling that out of thin air, but I don't think there can be an error on that play.
You're correct about that.
That pitch hits off the arm of Colin Hughes, last week's Cal Ripken League Hitter of the Week, and that's going to send him to first base, first and second for Aaron Babayev.
Colin Hughes, didn't get to talk about him yet, but he was not on the roster the last time the Big Train and the Giants met. Arrived late, so this is just his 6th game played, but he's hitting nearly 500, 455 with an OPS nearing 1,200, and he'll be aboard. And
here comes Aaron Babayev, the right fielder, batting left-handed. He's out of the College of San Mateo, calls Old Brookville, New York home.
Babayev, the one of just 2 batters, along with Hughes, that didn't appear for the Giants the last time they faced Big Train. He's played in 7 games. Another one of their better bats, a 971 OPS on the back of 3 doubles of his 5 hits.
This Giants team can hit. They've just struggled with the other part of the ball game. The 0-1. Outside ball 1.
Yeah, the Giants have kind of established offensively a pretty good identity. They hit for high average. They're second in average. They're second in doubles. They're third in extra base hits. They don't reach a lot. They're just 6th in on-base percentage and 7th in stolen bases. So they're mostly creating via the hit and specifically the extra base hit rather than the Big Train, who have a lot of extra base hits, but it feels like their identity is more find a way on, steal a base, create havoc.
That crossfire delivery of Kide Atatui nails the lower corner, and the count is 1-2 to Babayev. The pitch. Outside, smothered by the catcher Jacob Hawk. Eliav, why don't you take us around the Bethesda defense?
Yeah, out in left, it's Matt Wesley, who's been splitting time out there with Brett Ott. Center fielder is maybe the highlight of this defensive unit for the Big Train. It's Alex Peltier, who's made some highlight reel plays. Peyton Steele in right has a pretty good arm, and then Parker Corbin getting the start at third. Usually Logan Panette's spot. He'll still be in the lineup. Big Train fans will be happy to hear since he's been arguably their best bat, but he's at DHing today. So Corbin at third, Martinez back in the lineup. We saw him enter on Friday, return from an injury to play about 2 innings before that game gets rained out. That moves Brennan Wright over to second, and Emilio Gonzalez, who's leading the team, or second on the team in average, is manning first. And Jacob Hawk, as you said, behind the plate, the better of the 2 defensive catchers in this tandem.
That's popped up on the infield, the 3-2 pitch heading towards John Martinez, who makes the grab. You could see Martinez making that catch out in front of a leaf-strewn outfield. Hellacious winds prior to first pitch here. Knocked some branches around, blew around our tarp, but the field is still dry enough to play some baseball, and we're hoping rain in the forecast holds off to allow us to complete our 9 innings.
Gotta say, heroic effort by our intern crew, the 2 of us among the many who are out there to secure that tarp. Tarp got put out by the players pregame around, I would say, probably 4:30, and then the rain started and the wind started and the tarp flew off that first base corner, and we had to hustle out there and secure it.
There was a little bit of water around first base. That's, unfortunately, I hate to say it, around where I was trying to help. But the Parks Department grounds crew came out and did a fantastic job, along with the coaching staff and players, at drying out this infield. And we're here in the top of the first with Bryce Rudisil at the dish.
Bryce Rudisil had 2 hits the last time these two teams met. That's 2 of just 4 hits on the year. He's only hitting a .160, and the slug is the same. Only singles this year, 345 OPS. So a struggle for Rudisil, but he's had success against Big Train.
He fouls the 1-0 from Kide Atatui back and over the press box.
Rudisil out of Mount St. Mary's. He was a redshirt freshman at Pitt in 2024, transferred to the Mountaineers last year, started 49 games where he had 9 doubles and 10 home runs.
You might have noticed a different look for the Big Train today. We'll talk about that after this pitch from Atatui. Outside, blocked again by Hawk.
The Big Train today are rocking Newark Eagles jerseys, an homage to Clarence Israel and his former team. It is a white jersey, the only time probably that we'll see the Big Train wear white all season long. It's blue script, not green. Navy blue, kind of more in line with what the Gaithersburg Giants are wearing.
Grounded towards the 3-4 hole, scooped by right, throws in the run. It skips away from Emilio Gonzalez and off the wall of the Gaithersburg dugout. That's going to allow a run to score. But we've got a call on the field. Looks to be giving the out to Bethesda. Runner's interference is the call. And so that's going to end our inning. The run shouldn't count. The interference call looked like it was made before the runner crossed home plate. So it should be 0-0 after the top of the first. We'll go to Quincy Bell to talk about these recent rainouts.
It's now been a full week since the Bethesda Big Train have played a game at Shirley Povich Field or elsewhere. 5 straight rainouts, and there was rain earlier today, as you can see, tarp on behind me. But the rain seems to have been passed, and hopefully, if you're watching this video, then the game is going to get played. The Big Train have come off 4 straight wins, but it's kind of hard to keep momentum going on a win streak if you haven't been playing in a whole week. No one in the league has really been able to get a gain in because there's been so much rain in the D.C., Maryland, Virginia area. But we're finally set to play. Hopefully a good game against the Big Train and the Gaithersburg Giants.
Alex Pelletier leading things off for the Bethesda Big Train, as he has done throughout this year ever since he got here, and he's been darn good at it too.
Pelletier hitting .370. He's got a .929 OPS. He's tied for second in the league in runs, 4th in stolen bases. That includes the last time these two teams met, which was his second game.
And aping Jaden Brown, he swings at the first pitch and cracks it into left field for a leadoff single.
Dueling center fielders in the leadoff spot, both phenomenal defenders and both tearing the cover off the ball. As I was saying, Pelletier didn't even let me get a chance to finish, but he went 2 for 4. He drove in 3, he scored 3, he stole 4 in that game. So Pelletier was all over the box score in an 11-10 Big Train loss and already in the box score tonight.
The Big Train are 5-1 with Alex Peltier in the lineup, 0-2 without him.
He showed up a little late because he was playing in the NCAA tournament with the East Carolina Pirates. But since he's arrived, he has set the tone. He's led off every single game. He's played in center every single game. And they have been darn good. The offense has really taken off.
Brennan Wright, the man who's taken the most at-bats in the Cal Ripken League in the 2-hole today. He's got Peltier at first, nobody out, squared around a bunt the first time. Does it again, deadens it in front of home plate. Charging in is Carls, giving way to White, who retires Wright just barely with a nice play. 2-3, or 2-4 rather. Or no, it was 2-3. Staying put at first base was Danny Orr. But that'll be a sac bunt, nicely done by Wright to move the speedy Peltier into scoring position.
Yeah, Peltier was off with the pitch, so I thought for a second that Wright was going to pull it back and let Peltier swipe that bag unimpeded. Instead, elects to lay the bunt down and does a fantastic job of it.
The Big Train have just 2 first-inning runs this year, looking to add to that tally with 3-hole hitter John Martinez at the dish. The kick to delivery is high and off the glove of White to the backstop, allowing Peltier to scoot forward to 90 feet from home.
Big Train have taken a lot of advantage of wild pitches, pass balls. They've stolen the third most bags in the Cal Ripken League, but they've also done a great job of heads-up base running, and they take advantage a little bit kind of surprising if you look at just the left-on base numbers that the Big Train have this season, and certainly in the first couple of games they were struggling to cross guys that were in scoring position, but in their winning streak, they've done a fantastic job of just pushing runs across every time guys get on.
Here's Martinez, the 1-0 to him. Called strike. But to that point, Eliav, the Big Train have a ratio of runs scored to runners left on base of 83 to 89, 0.93 runs per left on base. That's best in the league, despite those early season struggles.
It's just been a product of getting the most guys on in the league. I mean, you look at the left on base numbers, I would hazard a guess, I don't know off the top of my head, that they've left the most on base of any team this year. It's just a matter of the Big Train are percentage points, a ton of percentage points better than any other team at an average on base and slugging and OPS. They lead across the board. And so it's been, they're scoring even when they're straining guys.
The 3-1 to Martinez. Strike called at the bottom of the zone. That pitch is dotted from Nicholas Carls.
Martinez tossed the bat. Had to trot on over to get it.
And Eliav, if you'll run through the rest of this Big Train lineup after this 3-2 pitch, Carls comes to the rubber, shakes no to the first sign, yes to the second, heaves out of breath and delivers. Swing and a pop fly behind home plate, heading back to the backstop is White. That's going to head out behind the home plate grandstand.
And Martinez, who's hitting now, leads the league in sacrifice flies. Behind him is Panette, the ever-dangerous DH. 3 homers. Still stands alone at the top of the league. Gonzalez was red hot before the break. Peyton Steele's tied for the league lead in doubles. He's hitting 6th. Matt Wesley, as I mentioned, splits time with Brett Ott out and left. He's got 3 doubles of his own. Parker Corbin at third's got a home run and was starting to heat up before the break. And then Jacob Hawk is hitting over 400.
Ball 4 issued to John Martinez. He'll take first. His on-base percentage up to .450 with that walk.
And Martinez missed, I believe, 3 games with that, 2 games, I guess, with the knee injury, and left early from 1, but returning now and already off to a good start.
Brings up Logan Panette. He's hitting .294 with a .618 slug. Those aforementioned 3 home runs leading the league.
And the 5 total extra base hits tied with Jaden Brown on the other side for tops in the league. Panette's got a pair of doubles. Brown's got 2 doubles, 2 homers, and a triple to go along with his.
The 1-0 to him. Called for a strike. But after that white-hot start, he had begun to cool a little, including his first hitless game back in that only contest. Looking to get back on the horse, remaining in the cleanup spot.
Yeah, all the way back on last Thursday, went 0 for 3.
And he lines it in the center field for an RBI knock. Martinez on his horse, going first to third. The throw, not in time, and Panette follows him to second base. Great base running all around, and the Big Train lead 1-0.
And Panette said, I may have gone hitless once. It's not happening again. Lines a pitch into center field. And the Big Train, who have struggled scoring first this season with just the 2 first-inning runs, are on the board with more damage to be done here.
And the Big Train are 3-1 when they've been able to score first. They've taken advantage of early leads. Emilio Gonzalez looking to make that early lead even bigger. 2 runners in a scoring position, and Gonzalez has been hot. He swings and fouls it off.
Gonzalez was also an 0-for in the most recent game. 0-for-3, did walk, steal a base, and score. But in his 3 games prior, he had 3 hits in each, went 9-for-14 in that stretch.
He's hitting .353 with runners in scoring position. He has 9 RBI on the campaign. He peers out, swings, and fouls it back on the ground.
The last time the Big Train faced Gaithersburg, Gonzalez got the day off. That was his lone day off after starting the season 1-for-13 in the first 3 games. That game was kind of what reset him, and following that day off came in and had 3 straight 3-hit days.
The 0-2 from Carls. Outside with the changeup.
We haven't really talked about Nicholas Carls much yet, but he is the best pitcher so far on this Gaithersburg team. He's started 2 games. This is a 3rd start, a 2 ERA, which is 8th in the league.
Gonzalez sends it over to second base. Powell flips it to Orr, but it's going to allow John Martinez to head home. It's now 2-0 Bethesda.
Big Train and Emilio Gonzalez doing a good job of playing situational baseball. Martinez really set that up. He went first to third on the single by Panette. That allowed, not only did that allow him to come around and score on that ground ball instead of just advancing to third, that also put Panette on second, which took away a potential double play. If Gonzalez hits that ground ball in a first and second situation, maybe it's not 2 because he didn't hit it super hard, but certainly a chance with Gonzalez's speed that they turn 2 and the inning is over. Instead, Martinez taking advantage of a good read on the ball, goes first to third. Panette follows him to second, and suddenly there's no double play in order, and that run's able to score.
2 to Peyton Steele's cracked into left field down the line. It is twisting, turning, foul.
That ball was gone if fair. Peyton Steele, we've seen the power he has in his bat. Still looking for that first Cal Ripken League home run, but he's got 3 doubles, had 2 in his first game played after arriving late from Alabama, and he has hit some balls really hard.
That 3 doubles mark is tied for first in the league. Carls will bring him a 2-1. Swing and a fly. That's down the left field line once again. Bit shorter this time, but once again, the result is a foul ball and strike 2.
To give you the numbers on that last swing, not this pop-up, but the home run but foul, it went 340 feet, and down the left field line is only 330. So if that stays fair, that clears the fence pretty easily.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The pitch. Slider goes high.
Anyways, as I was saying about Carls before Gonzalez grounded out, came into today with a 2 ERA, which was 8th among qualified pitchers, is tied for 5th in strikeouts, and has been really Gaithersburg's most competitive pitcher and has given them the best innings so far this season.
But he's starting out with some struggles against the rollicking Big Train offense. 2 runs have already scored, and now it's first and third after the steal walk for Matthew Wesley.
That's the second walk of the inning for Carls, who had only walked 3 in his first 2 games.
First pitch to Wesley, fouled back. He's hitting .240 on the season with an .864 OPS. You mentioned in the lineup read that he's picked up some extra base hits, Eliav.
Yeah, Wesley's got 3 doubles and a triple. He's second on the team in extra base hits. It hasn't always felt like he's had the hottest bat.
Runner takes off towards second. The throw is in time, and the tag applied to Peyton Steele. He's caught, well, stealing, and that's going to end the bottom of the first. 2 runs on 2 hits, 1 runner left on for the Big Train. They lead after 1. We're going to throw it to our recap of the last full game that Bethesda played against Olney.
The
Big Train won their 4th game in a row yesterday against the only Crop Dusters, partly thanks to Cole Ketchum absolutely shoving in the middle innings. 4 1/3 innings pitched, 6 strikeouts, no runs or hits allowed. He was on fire yesterday.
Catch him out of the stretch, and a swing and a miss. He picks up his 2nd strikeout. 1-2, 2 outs from Ketchum. Looking for his 3rd strikeout. And he gets it against Kirk, a foul tip into the mitt.
The Big Train got some timely hits to take the lead back in the middle innings. Alex Peltier with a single to right to tie the game, and then Matthew Wesley with a big double into the gap to give the Train the lead.
He delivers a line drive into right field, and it's down for a base hit. Windmill at third for Corbin. He's coming to the plate. The throw will come all the way through, and he is safe. He gets under the tag of Redden with a feet-first slide, and the Big Train have evened this game at 2. Driven high in the air, deep out towards left field. Klein is going back. He's running out of room, and this ball kicks off the base of the wall. Gonzalez will score from second. Wesley's easily into second. Those two swap places, and the Big Train have the lead. It's 3-2.
Head coach Sal Colangelo called on Kide Adatui in the 9th inning with a 2-run lead, and the FAU Owl shut the door with 3 strikeouts after a leadoff walk to earn his first save of the year.
He kicks, he deals, he strikes him out. Kide Adatui earns the save. The Big Train win 5-3.
The Big Train go for their 5th win in a row today against the league-leading Southern Maryland Senators. See if they have what it takes next. But it's Dinosaur Night. Jackson and Eliab, what's your guys' favorite?
Well, you see, he asked us what our favorite dinosaur was. That's how long it's been. The last game we played was Dinosaur Night against Southern Maryland. That game was not completed, suspended after 2.5 innings. Fly ball into center field, bringing in Peltier a couple steps. Now he shimmies back and makes the catch, retiring Zach White on the first pitch.
Adatui settling down a little bit, got some help from that runner's interference call to prevent giving up an unearned run on what would have been an E4, and he hasn't gotten the punch-outs, has 7 strikeouts on the season, hasn't gotten one yet today, but only a matter of time. He's starting to find the zone a little bit more.
And he's going to face Brady Powell, today's second baseman for the Giants. First pitch is fouled off the cap of the bat for strike 1.
These guys are going after the first pitch early and often.
That's been the book, as you've mentioned a couple times in the past, Eliav, on this strikeout-heavy Big Train staff. Attack them early in counts and try and jump on something. That's what Jaden Brown did for the only Gaithersburg hit so far. Swinging aggressively again is Powell. He's fouled both off, and he's down 0-2.
Yeah, Big Train lead the league in strikeouts. For as much as they have struggled at times this season pitching, the numbers look a little better now than they did maybe a week or so, or a week and a half ago, I should say, since they haven't played in a week. They're punching guys out when they get to 2 strikes.
And Adatui almost does it there. The fastball in not a bad spot. Definitely missed the zone, but did not draw a swing from Brady Powell.
So when the Big Train have had trouble, it's first pitch, second pitch. Teams are going after the strike zone early and getting hits, or else it's when the Big Train pitchers can't locate and they're walking a lot of guys.
Adatui, 2 straight really nice spots with the fastball. That one just a bit below. Then it's now 2-2, and he's got to come back into Powell, the pitch. Check swing, strike 3. The 89th strikeout of the year for Big Train pitching, and the first for Kide Adatui tonight.
Adatui picks up a backwards K on a beautifully spotted curveball on the outside corner, painted the bottom part of the zone against Brady Powell, who has had an okay season thus far, but was really good last year.
Another Brady, this one is Ruiz Weiss. He's playing left for Gaithersburg. He checks his swing and looked like he didn't go, and the third base umpire confirms.
And Ruiz Weiss was hitting in the 3-hole the last time these two teams met. Picked up a pair of hits and an RBI in what's been a little bit of a struggle for him this season. His only RBI came in that game. He's hitting just 227. He's got a 534 OPS. Swept a couple of bags in 7 games played.
The Yale Bulldog from Potomac, Maryland, stands back in against Adatui. All low.
St. John's College High School product. Locals will know that school for its perennially top 25 baseball program. The Cadets consistently dominating the WCAC and the DC region.
But that's a dominant pitch from Kide Atatui. Pitch started at the head of Ruiz Weiss, headed all the way out to the black on the outer part of the plate. Brilliant pitch by Atatui, and he's back in the count. 2-1. Slider again, called strike. That pitch is looking good right now.
Yeah, the Big Train kind of identity as a staff is the strikeout, and it's the off-speed pitch. And when they're at their best, most of the pitchers on this staff, with a few exceptions, when they're at their best, it's when they're spinning the slider or the curveball in the zone. It's breaking hard, and right now Atatui is starting to find that.
Swinging a soft ground ball towards shortstop. Martinez charging in, throws, fields. Does it the other way around, in fact, but does it just in time to nip Brady Ruiz Weiss at first base. 1-2-3 go the Giants in the top of the second. We're going to the bottom half of this inning with Bethesda leading 2-0. Matthew Wesley was left at the altar last inning when Peyton Steele was caught running towards second base. And Wesley will step up in front of Corbin and Hawk. That's the three due up for the Big Train this inning after they scored 2 in the first. The first pitch to the left fielder is just a bit high.
Wesley, a veteran of this league, played 2024 with the Big Train, 27 games, and 2023 with the South County Braves.
He grounds it towards short field, and nicely by Aiden Marino. The throw to first is dug out by Orr. Nice play all around by the Gaithersburg defense, which has struggled at times this year, but a very nicely made play there.
And Marino had to throw that kind of off his back foot to retire the speedy Wesley on a ground ball to his backhand, and and Orr sticking with it is able to scoop that ball through. Pretty good, clean fundamentals over at first base, especially when the dirt is, recently rained on a lot. It's going to be pretty soft. So as a defender at fielding a ground ball and also as a first baseman picking, you really have to stay down on it. It's not going to hop up on you, but if you don't get your glove down, it will find a way to scoot under. So really good job by Orr to stay down and through the throw.
2 straight splitters from Carls to start the at-bat. Comes back with the fastball and misses inside to Parker Corbin. Started the year 0 for 13, but has been seeing the ball very well as of late. Has upped his on-base percentage above 400.
Yeah, 5 for 12 since that cold start, including a home run and a pair of doubles.
He takes ball 3 here. He is second in the league in runs scored with 10. He's always been finding ways on base throughout this year. The 3-1 won't find a way yet this at-bat. He takes strike 2. Nicholas Carls works relatively pacily. And now he'll deliver the 3-2. Swinging a line drive right back at Carls, who knocks it down, jogs over to first, and shovels it in time to Orr. Look what I've found, says Nicholas Carls, and he retires Parker Corbin.
Yeah, robbing Corbin of a surefire base hit. That ball came off the bat at 95 miles an hour, and that ball was destined for center field grass until Carls just kind of slapped his glove down, knocked the ball into the grass, and was able to retire Corbin. Really good job, both to get a glove on it, which maybe it was more luck than skill, but to track the ball, to figure out where it went, and to corral it in time to retire Corbin. It's not as easy as they make it look. Corbin was busting out of the box as soon as he saw it got knocked down. And when you're playing a ball that comes off the bat that hot, you're not sure. That could really deflect any direction. So for Carls to pick that up, find it, and toss it over, it was really some nice defensive play.
Here's Jacob Hawk. He hit the cover off the ball in his last appearance against Alexandria. Went 3 for 4 with 4 RBI. The 1-1 is high.
Hawks only appeared in 4 games, so he's not qualified for any of the leaderboards because he's splitting time evenly with Dylan Murphy behind the dish, but he's hitting .462, the .579 on base, both of which would rank at or near the top of this league in terms of respective rankings should he have enough at-bats to qualify.
He'd be just 5 points below the league leader, Jaden Brown, at least at the start of today's game. Brown's average now higher. The 3-1 is upstairs. The 3rd walk issued by Carls today.
That doubles his season total. The first 3 came across 9 innings. These 3 coming across 1.2.
Going into this game, the Bethesda Big Train are just 1 game back of the Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts for the North Division lead. 6-2 are the T-Bolts, 5-3 the Big Train. Pitch to Peltier, grounded towards short. Marino flips it over to second base. Powell fields it in time. 6-4 fielder's choice ends the bottom of the second. Big Train still lead by 2. Can't get enough of the Big Train just on game day? Head to bigtrain.org and read some of the great articles written by our beat writers, Alex Rubinson and Calvin Kaplan. The best coverage in the Cal Ripken League belongs to those two. Again, bigtrain.org. Find the media tab for news and game stories written by our excellent staff writers.
I've read some of their work, and it's pretty spectacular. Calvin, a classmate of mine at Northwestern, so I've gotten the opportunity to work with him for the past year, and he's a joy to work with. Alex as well.
First pitch is a strike to Aiden Marino. Just don't mention Davey Martinez to Mr. Alex Rubinson, or you'll be in for a long conversation.
He's got a lot to say, most of it not super positive. But Alex and Calvin do a lot of good work. Not only do they write about the games, but they write about community events, community members. They've done some cool features.
Ground ball to Martinez, backhands, and fires a seed over to first base to retire his fellow shortstop Marino. And it brings up Jaden Brown once again. Boy, can this guy hit.
Yeah, Jaden Brown, there's probably not a better hitter in this league than this guy. Plays at Ranger College, so not a Division I player. He hit .314 there. Did not homer, but he's already got a pair of them in this season.
And he just looks the part up there. He's not picking up cheapies. He bails out here against the slider. It goes outside for ball one, but singled on the first pitch, cracked it hard to center field, and had a nice day against the Big Train when they first met.
He had 4 hits in that one, including both of his doubles on the year. He hit a couple to the wall. He hit a couple hard, but right at defenders in the outfield that got down, but just for singles. Like, he's not hitting these infield singles and lollipop pop flies that find a way to drop. There's nobody in the league hitting the ball harder than this guy.
And Kide Atatui and Jacob Hawk know this, and they've pitched around him. 3 pitches just a bit around the zone to run the count to 3-0. Atatui breathes out, delivers, and catches the edge for strike 1.
A good pitch from Atatui, even with a 3-0 count, not serving up a meatball to Brown, who I'm certain has the green light, given the way he's swinging the bat, puts that one right at the bottom of the zone.
The lefty-lefty matchup will conclude with ball 4. Jaden Brown works a walk, and it brings up Danny Orr.
I don't mind that. Nobody on, 1 out. This guy has got power, and he's got just the bat ability to put it wherever he wants right now. I don't mind working around him. Orr can hit, and Hughes, who follows Orr, can also hit. The top 3 in this lineup have had really good seasons for Gaithersburg, but the more you can stay away from Jaden Brown's bat, the better, I think.
Yeah, especially in a 3-1 count. Don't want to give him anything to hit. A walk, less dangerous than a double, and Orr, not the fleetest of foot. A ball on the ground could retire too, but got to come in the zone to do that. The check on Brown at first base is late.
Yeah, or an interesting batting stance for a first baseman. He's pretty small, and the way he stands kind of looks like he's not going to hit for a ton of power. Did hit 7 home runs in 40 games with UMBC this year, so does have some power in the bat, but the way he waggles that bat with the elbow high, it looks like he's more of a slap hitter just based on view alone.
He cracks that one foul, got some distance on it, but way beyond the fun zone down the right field line. 1-1 from Atatui, set at the belt. Strike called, backdoor slider, and a beauty.
A really good pitch from Atatui, right on the corner, not messing around, and he's done a good job of using that slider against both lefties and righties. Despite the platoon disadvantage against the righty Orr, he tucks that where Orr has no chance of getting it.
Pitch in the dirt, blocked again by Hawk. We talked about his defensive prowess. He's tossed out a couple runners so far this year, and he's made short work of a lot of tricky pitches in the dirt.
Jacob Hawk, probably the better of the 2 defensively between himself and Murphy. Murphy got the start last time, and there you see Hawk again. A nice block, and then nearly picks off Jaden Brown on the back pick attempt.
They nearly got Danny Orr to swing too. Yeah, nice play by Hawk. Nearly retiring Brown, he tried to get the read on the ball in the dirt, stayed way closer than he expected. So you saw him sliding to the dirt, trying to scramble back to the first base bag. Count has run full against Orr. The pitch from Atatui. Swing and a foul. Orr doing everything in his power to get a tip on that.
Orr, he swings a good bat, hitting .387, which is good for 4th in the league. Has struck out just 5 times this year. So despite the, you think, oh, first baseman, big power, big strikeouts. He doesn't have a ton of power, but also isn't going to swing and miss a whole lot. And that's why he's a tough out, and that's why he's hitting where he is in the 2 spot instead of maybe the 4 or the 5.
Brown takes off the pick to first. Can they get Brown at second? They do. Atatui goes over to Gonzalez, who zips it to Martinez. One FAU owl to another, then another. And they remove Jaden Brown from the base paths. There's 2 away.
Yeah, the owl trio right there. 3 of the 4 owls on this team. The 4th being Dylan Murphy, who we've talked about at length this inning.
Atatui, slightly close stance up there on the mound. The 3-2. Swing and a foul. Long at bat for Orr. Since Brown took off, that's going to go in the book as a caught stealing. I'm sure for the statistics, Brown might prefer it when as a pickoff.
It doesn't get docked on the stolen base percentage for a pickoff, but got caught leaning, and Atatui with that left-handed sneaky move was able to take advantage.
Called ball 4. That pitch looked like it was right down the middle, but our 3D zone actually says that's a great call and a really good frame by Hawk. I mean, he fooled me, but did not fool the home plate umpire. Again, our 3D zone says that was the correct call. A really nice pitch by Atatui. Nice work behind the plate by Hawk, but a second straight walk for the Giants.
Yeah, all of the Big Train defense was halfway off the field before they realized that the umpire did not, in fact, ring up or on strike 3. Now Atatui really lucky to have picked off Brown because you don't want to be facing this guy, Colin Hughes, with 2 on and 1 out.
Yeah, as we mentioned, the reigning offensive player of the week. This time Atatui steps off with the back foot to check on Danny Orr, who dives back and muddies that navy and baby blue jersey of his.
Hughes, like I mentioned before, was not with the Giants last time these two teams met.
Guides it towards the right side, sliding stop by right, throws up from the ground. And Gonzalez vacated the bag, stretching for that ball. And it looked like he might have held it, but the first base umpire says that he left. Sal Colangelo gonna have a chat. The umpires will meet. As things stand, Hughes is safe at first base.
A really tough play. Gonzalez trying to stretch out as far as he can and may have gotten a little too low in doing so, and it kind of had to pull his foot off and jump a little bit. Now the umpire's conferring east of the pitcher's mound.
Yeah, right. Didn't get the quickest jump on it, but then a nice job to smother the ball gliding to his left there. And the throw from the ground, about as good as you can ask for. He had to get rid of it quickly because Hughes was beating it down the first base line. He will be officially ruled safe.
And credited with a single.
That's deep enough in the hole where it's a tough play for right to make. And it brings up Aaron Babayev, who popped up to John Martinez last time up. The pitch. Strike 1 called. But especially to the lefties, Atatui's just been firing it at the hip, and it's breaking into the zone. When he's been off, it's because he's starting it too close to the center of the plate, and it's breaking into the dirt. It's got a lot of movement on it. That one, too, starts near the edge of the batter's box and ends up outside.
We'll see how long Atatui has in this game. Season high this season, 3 innings, 42 pitches. He's over that in pitch count.
Looped into left field. That's down. Fielded by Wesley. The throw home. It's on line. It's caught by Hawk. They got him. Matthew Wesley comes up firing and retires Danny Orr at home, maintaining the Big Train's 2-0 lead as we go to the bottom of the third. Brennan Wright leading things off in the bottom of the third for the Bethesda Big Train, who lead 2-0 after an outstanding defensive play by Matthew Wesley, who hopped on the short pop fly into left field, gunned it home, a perfect strike to retire Danny Orr. And Brennan Wright trying to dump it into lefts, but Aiden Marino got on his horse and chased it down on the outfield grass for out number 1.
Yeah, right, just didn't quite hit that one hard enough. Carls has settled down nicely after struggling in that first inning. A couple of walks and a couple of singles, bailed out by a caught stealing of his own, just like Atatui in that third, and since then has retired 4 of 5.
The first pitch to Martinez, a high, lazy pop into short left field. Coming in and making the catch is Brady Ruiz-Weiss. 2 pitches, 2 outs for Carls.
That's exactly what the doctor ordered for Carls, who had to really work in that first inning. That pitch count now stabilizing a little here in the third, and got to imagine Panette's taken 1, if not 2 pitches to start this at-bat.
Yeah, I'd certainly agree with you there, Eliav. We want to extend this inning a little bit. Panette flares out the elbow, but the ball dips below it for ball 1.
Panette RBI single in the first.
His league-high 13th RBI on the season. That's popped up. It's towards the Big Train dugout, and it's well out of play.
In addition, should vault his average back over 300 for the year.
The big swinging infielder, as we mentioned, is 1 for 1. And the count is 1-1 between him and Nicholas Carls.
Panette picks up 1 of his 3 home runs against the Giants. Flew 1 out to left.
No homers here. Again, cat-like off the mound is Carls. He's made 2 plays today. And 1, 2, 3 go the Big Train. They'll head right back out there. And Kidi Atatui with him for the top of the 4th.
Eliav Brooks Rubin, and I'm taking over for the middle innings. Jackson Corcoran will do the color. Gibson still on the knobs. Kide Atatui back out for the top of the 4th inning. He'll take on Bryce Rudisil and get a big swing and a miss for strike 1. Atatui is now officially in his longest outing of the season. Worked 3 against Silver Spring 2 weeks ago and had a 1-inning save last Thursday. Check swing, and he offered, so Atatui quickly ahead of Rudisil 0-2.
Well, Eliav, you mentioned that he was on the knobs, but you didn't mention that he's also on the buttons. You have to consider that as well, Gibson.
Gibson, knobs, buttons, the computer. He's doing it all over there. Atatui way outside on the 0-2.
Yeah, Atatui's had some shakiness, but has looked pretty sharp today.
Swing and a miss. Atatui picks up his 2nd strikeout, first via the swing. And there's 1 away in the 4th.
Yeah, that's a really nice pitch for him. It has worked so well today, just been taking off out of his hand. I mean, even in the damp on this Juneteenth evening, he's been able to feel the seams, spin the ball.
You mentioned the damp. Rain has resumed here. Coming in lightly. Ground ball foul from Zach White. Starting behind the dish today. It's a little more than a drizzle, but less than a full rain at the moment. Certainly not enough to halt our progress. Field was turned into pretty good shape by our grounds crew and our players. Ground ball to third. It's Corbin over there. He throws on the run, and he retires Zach White easily.
That's another pretty solid defensive play. Corbin makes it look easy as pie with the tough dirt down the third base line. That's one of the areas that was most affected by the wetness seeping under the tarp, but got the easy hop, zips it over to first in plenty of time. I mean, this Big Train defense leads the league in fielding percentage.
Yeah, with the exception of a 4-error game against Olney, they have been tremendous. First pitch is a strike to the first of the two Bradys, Brady Powell, who's playing second base today. Adatui's 0-1. Another swing and a miss. And for the second time this inning, he's ahead 0-2.
Today marks the...
Had a baseball pop into left field, so Wesley hustled over, tossed it back out of play. And Adatui, after a slight pause, a couple of shakes of the head, now comes set at the belt. The 0-2, the kick, the deal, lined sharply into center field. Peltier going back. He won't get there. That'll be extra bases. Powell rounds first, heading for second. Peltier's throw is offline, and a 2-out double for Brady Powell.
And that's just not the spot that Adatui wants to go with that pitch. Wanted to get it a bit higher, left it in the zone on the higher quadrant. Wanted to get it out and try and draw a swing and miss. As it was, Powell does a really nice job at just going up and getting it, stung it into left center field, nearly 100 miles an hour off the bat.
For the team, second in the league now, standing alone at second in doubles after that one. Check over to first by Adatui, just in case Powell missed the bag. Umpire says he did not. So Powell stands safely at second. Sun is setting over the trees in right field. Adatui will take on Brady Ruiz-Weiss, the left fielder out of Yale. He squares around a bunt and then pulls back.
Yeah, but Adatui, as you mentioned, it's his longest outing of the year so far, 3 2/3. And despite some of the traffic, he's never felt out of control in this game. It's always felt like he's going to find a way.
1-0 from Adatui. Another bunt. This one is foul. Jacob Hawk was all over it, and Ruiz-Weiss probably lucky that trickled foul because Hawk had a good beat on it.
And with 2 outs in the inning, not necessarily surprised at the first square from Ruiz-Weiss, but going to it back-to-back, losing the element of surprise with 2 outs is tough because you need it to be a hit. You certainly assume he pulls back and swings here.
Ruiz-Weiss facing the 1-1, squares again, and misses completely for strike 2.
And now you're just in a 1-2 hole rather than just swinging the bat with 2 outs in the inning. It has to be a perfect bunt to get a hit because Hawk is quick out of his crouch. He's got a good arm. Adatui's a good athlete on the mound. I mean, you'd have to do a really good job to get the job done.
A 1-2 from Adatui. Misses outside. Kind of a throwaway pitch, trying to get a chase from Ruiz-Weiss, who holds up.
That slider again. It's been the put-away pitch for him today when he's had it.
Number 2 on the mound. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, runner on second. Takes off for third, and a swing and a miss, strike 3. Kide Adatui is through 4. He's got 3 punch-outs, and the Big Train will come to bat, protecting a 2-0 lead.
Today marks the 4th annual Juneteenth Classic here for the Bethesda Big Train, honoring Pint Israel, who was a very prominent player here back in the day. Jackson, the team is wearing Newark Eagles jerseys, white jerseys, blue script, the team that he played on.
Absolutely. Clarence, a.k.a. Pint Israel, was born in Marietta, Georgia, then moved here to Rockville, Maryland, where he spent most of his life. He played for the Newark Eagles, as will be represented on the Big Train's jersey today, as well as the Homestead Grays. In his time with the Eagles, he was considered one of the best defensive third basemen in the Negro National League. And despite his 5'5" stature, he made a big mark on the teams that he played for, including under 3 Hall of Fame managers. Pint Israel then returned to Rockville, Maryland after his playing days were done and was a large part of the local baseball scene for many, many years. He is a black baseball icon in Montgomery County, and that is exactly why the Bethesda Big Train are honoring him in our 4th annual Juneteenth Classic.
He also served overseas in World War II and won a Negro League World Series with the Homestead Grays. There's a bobblehead giveaway of him tonight. Big crowd on hand as this is one of the marquee days on the Bethesda Big Train event calendar. Already a big crowd here, and we hope to see more people here as the game progresses.
That was some history on Clarence Pint Israel, who's being honored today with a bobblehead and the Big Train wearing his old jersey, the Newark Eagles. Sky has closed up. The rain is stopped more or less, and the orange cast coming out of right field has given us a beautiful baseball evening. Air's cooled down from a high of 88 today all the way down to about 70 degrees at the moment. Emilio Gonzalez takes a first pitch strike.
It's a gorgeous, gorgeous sky. It looks almost exactly like the cover of Will Bardenwerper's recent book, Homestand. He was at yesterday's game before it was postponed.
And we were supposed to talk to him in the booth. Gonzalez, a sky-high pop-up, gets out of play. We were supposed to talk to him in the 3rd or 4th inning in the booth alongside Stefan Fatsis, another author, the two of whom gave a book talk before the game. But unfortunately, the postponement meant we could not do that. Instead, an interview is on our Instagram account. Go check that out if you haven't. Some good content there. Gonzalez fouls another one off to the right side, so he's in a 0-2 hole, 1-2 hole, excuse me.
Yes, but this is just a gorgeous summer baseball day. I mean, a full and lively crowd despite the rain. Beautiful weather now that the rain has slackened, and a Big Train lead.
2-strike pitch. Gonzalez fouled off himself. Scoreboard reads 0-2. I know I said 1-2, but it is 0-2. So Gonzalez in a deep hole. Last time up, scored a run on a ground out to second base. 0-2 from Carls. Hacked the other way and out of play.
Big Train have found plenty of fortune in the 4th inning. That's tied for their highest scoring frame on the season. 14 runs in the 4th, also 14 in the 8th.
0-2 from Carls. In there for strike 3. Gonzalez isn't happy.
And that was just a perfect, perfect pitch from Carls. A fastball that you could not locate any better. I have to give it to the umpire there. That looks like the correct call. I mean, just dotted from Carls.
Carls came into the game, tied for 5th in the league in strikeouts with 9. That was his first punch out of this Big Train offense that strikes out at the lowest rate in the Cal Ripken League. Peyton Steele, who walked and then was caught stealing to end the 1st inning, steps to the plate with 1 away in the 4th and is quickly in a hole 0-2, as was Gonzalez.
Peyton Steele has not seen the Big Train lose yet while he's been here. 4-0 with the Alabama product in the lineup.
0-2 to Steele in the dirt. Dribbles away from White, but nobody on base to take advantage. Steele was in attendance at the Gaithersburg game last time these two teams met, not in uniform, sitting in the bleachers after arriving from Alabama, but didn't get in to uniform until Sunday's game where he doubled twice. Sunday, that being a week before this past Sunday, nearly 2 weeks ago against the South County Braves. Doubled twice in that one. Hasn't looked back. Sitting 278. He's got an 819 OPS, 7 RBIs in just 4 games. 1-2 from Carls. Skips away from White yet again.
That 1-2 pitch that Steele got is one that he might want back. It was right down the middle in his wheelhouse, and he sort of chopped over it a little bit. at least to me, that's a sign of a hitter getting overeager, a guy who knows he can do big damage and tries to do a little too much.
2-2 from Carls. Misses low, and the count runs full on Steele.
But I mean, Steele has been hitting well ever since he got here, and now he's worked the count full. See what he does with it.
Payoff pitch. In there, strike 3, back-to-back looking strikeouts from the big train, and Carls is feeling it.
Yeah, and he's just finding corners right now in this inning. Hadn't struck out a batter yet, had been unable to beat big train hitters with any of his stuff. So he went further to the corners, has been dotting up.
First pitch to Matthew Wesley in for a strike. Wesley grounded out to short last time up, has an outfield assist to cut down a runner at the plate, what would have been a run in the top of the third for the Gaithersburg Giants. So he's provided his value today on the defensive side of the ball. Counts 1-1. Carl's pitch in the dirt, ball 2. Carl's has retired the last 7 he's seen and 9 of the last 10. After a rocky first inning, has not allowed a hit. Sits just the 1 walk to Jacob Hawk. Big swing from Wesley. He's under it for strike 2.
And Wesley started out so well this year. I believe his first 8 plate appearances of the year, he was on base, and production has come in more bursts since then.
Count full once again. This time with 2 away. Matthew Wesley looking to avoid becoming the 3rd strikeout victim of the inning for Nicholas Carls. Payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. Nicholas Carls strikes out the side, and he has it working since the 1st. Big train go quietly in the 4th. We go to the 5th. Atatui closes out a very nice start. 4 scoreless for the FAU product. 4 hits, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, and now Drew Bellis, who has been Big Train's most impressive pitcher this season, will take the mound in relief.
Yeah, the Giants, we finally chased Atatui. He's kind of carved us up. Wait, who's taking the mound? Drew Bellis has looked electric every time he stepped on the rubber, tied for the league lead in punch-outs with 18, a 2.25 ERA. He has been incredible. Excited to see him take the hill once again.
His first pitch to the 9-hitter Marino misses for ball one. Bellis started, flip-flopped with Atatui all the way back week 1 against Silver Spring. He was the starter. Atatui came in to relieve him. This time coming to replace Atatui. And then on Wednesday, as Marino gets the bunt down, Bellis off the mound, field spins, throws, and Gonzalez a nice stretch across the bag to retire Marino.
We were told pregame that Drew Bellis is one of the best hacky sack players in the Big Train bullpen. You can see the sack-fueled athleticism there as he pounces off the mound, makes a really nice play on the move to retire the speedy Marino.
Yeah, you learn something during rain delays. There's always room to get more information to use on a broadcast, and that's something that the players were telling us pregame. And then Bellis, to get back to recapping what he's done, started against the Alexandria Aces all the way back a little more than a week ago on Wednesday. 5 innings, 2 earned runs, 12 strikeouts in that one. He earned the win and arguably could have had pitcher of the week honors. Instead, went to his teammate Cole Ketchum for 4.1 hitless innings. And Bellis in that game threw an immaculate second inning, 9 pitches, 9 strikes, 3 strikeouts.
Yeah, he just looked so good there, just dominating the zone. Every pitch he had working. The big slurvy curveball, he's thrown 2 of them in a row here, both high.
A matchup between Big Train's best pitcher thus far and the Gaithersburg Giants' best hitter, potentially the best hitter in the entire league thus far. And Jaden Brown ahead 3-0, his second at-bat, where the Big Train have been content to work around him. Bellis finds the zone for strike 1.
And Bellis' fastball is firm. It's in the 90s, but it really just explodes on you. More on that in just a second.
3-1, strike 2, another fastball that exploded on Brown.
But it's got almost 2 feet of vertical ride. That means it's just, to any given hitter, it looks like it's rising because it's just spinning so much. It's staying high.
Payoff pitch in there, strike 3. The big breaking ball sits down Jaden Brown. And Bellis picking up right where he left off, his first strikeout of the afternoon.
And boy, how difficult is it to strike out Jaden Brown, let alone coming back from down 3-0. I mean, 3 straight fantastic pitches, just pumps the zone with 2 fastballs, and then a gorgeous breaking ball freezes Brown.
Said afternoon, really should have said evening, as we're well past the 8 o'clock hour, almost to 9 p.m. Ball 1, way off the plate to Danny Orr. Pop up, out of play. Headed towards the press box. Not sure exactly where that landed, but a lucky little kid will have a souvenir to take home. Danny Orr was grounded out into a fielder's choice in the first and then walked, but was cut down at the plate in the third, courtesy of Matt Wesley in left field. Counts 2-1. 2 away. Bellis kicks and deals. Fouled off the umpire's mask, so Jacob Hawk will take a walk out to the plate, or will not. Was going to, but the umpire shook it off and tossed the ball back out himself.
Yeah, the fastball working even against the righties as Orr is fouled off too, barely making contact, but the changeup that he's gone to twice against the righty Orr hasn't found the zone yet. See if he returns to the well in the 2-2.
2-2 from Bellis. Big breaker, strike 3. Back-to-back K's looking, and Drew Bellis looks as electric as he did last Wednesday. Big Train come to bat in the bottom of the 5th after we do an interview with Ellie Hilton.
We have more intern interviews to go through.
God, so
Ellie Hilton is with us. Ellie, what do you do for the Bethesda Big Train?
I am the
After
assistant
top
to
of
the
6th,
general
and then I
manager.
just kind of
So,
panicked.
what drew you to want to work here?
Well, I grew up going to Big Train games, so I've been going since I was probably like 5 with my brother and my dad. So when I saw this was an internship, I had to jump on the opportunity, and it's been awesome so far.
What does a day in the life of your position look like?
Day in the life, I would say, is honestly call Sal during the day at some point, get our lives organized, and then when we get to the field, it's pregame setup, player food, get the balls down. Today I actually got balls and bats signed, so it's kind of a little bit different every day, but it's normally pregame setup and then anything during the game that needs to happen.
So, It is Dinosaur Night. Ellie, are you excited for Dinosaur
I
Night?
am. I am.
Still on the mound, looking for his 5th inning of work is Nicholas Carls, still limited to no action out in that Gaithersburg Giants bullpen. Carls has shown he can work deep into games. Started a pair. This is his 3rd start. He's compiled a 4-inning start and a 5-inning start, and we're looking for 5 here today. He's done an admirable job since the 1st inning in containing this dynamite Big Train lineup.
Yeah, has not allowed a hit since that first frame.
Behind 2-0 to Parker Corbin. Feels like usually by this point the Big Train are starting to cycle through their 3rd time, but Corbin coming to bat for just the 2nd time. Grounded out to Carls last time. Hit the rocket off the bat at 95 that Carls gloved down and then picked up and flipped over. This time his swing results in a foul ball out of play.
But Carls has retired 9 of the last 10 that he's faced. He's really been settling in and just filling up the zone after walking 2 in the 1st.
Struck out the side in the 4th. Corbin 2-1 square around a bunt and pulls back. Corbin wearing 13, ahead by a count of 3-1, flipping the numbers around. (3-1), grounded towards Orr at first, goes to one knee, now flips to Carls, who we've talked about being athletic off the mound, for the first out of the 5th.
Yeah, and Nicholas Carls paid attention during the PFP sections at Towson. Towson? Towson.
Really pronounced Towson with a hard S, but that's a local Maryland school, not something that most people would be expected to know. Towson Tigers of the CAA, where Carls appeared 10 times and pitched to a 12.54 ERA. Looks nothing like that today, especially after the 1st inning. 2024 was with the Morehead State Eagles, redshirted that season. Behind 2-0 to Jacob Hawk. Hawk, the only batter since the 1st inning that's been aboard for the Big Train, walked and was cut down at 2nd in a fielder's choice to end the 2nd inning. Cut on and miss from Jacob Hawk. 2-1 count.
Jacob Hawk has registered a runner and RBI in every one of his appearances so far this year. Looking to keep that streak alive, start a rally here.
Carls 2-1. There for a strike on the corner. And a good call from our umpire. Looked to me to be maybe lower inside, but he caught the bottom part of the plate. Full 2-2. Just misses. Now a full count. And Jacob Hawk, a pitch away from reaching for the 2nd time. He would be the only Big Train player that has accomplished that. But first has to find a way on. Full count. 1 out from Carls. Popped foul. Count filled up from the big right-hander to the big right-hander. Jacob Hawk standing at 6'3". Carls delivers and lined into left field for a base hit. He didn't hit it super hard, but it finds a way to find grass. And Jacob Hawk's aboard for the 2nd time, and the Big Train have their first hit since the 1st inning.
And when you're hot, you're hot. He went 3 for 4 the last time he played. He's 1 for 1 with a walk today. I mean, he's just seeing the ball incredibly well right now. 4-game hitting streak on the season.
That puts him at 7 for 14 on the year. That's good for a 500 batting average in his limited appearances. Alex Peltier to the dish. Peltier singled, came around to score the first run of the game in the 1st inning. Grounded out to shortstop in the 2nd. Carl's out of the stretch now. Peltier squares to bunt, pulls back. Would be a little bit of a surprising move to see him lay one down, considering how well he's swinging the bat right now.
Yeah, and he hit the ball hard against Carl's. The first pitch he saw in the game, stroked it into left field for a leadoff knock, came around to score.
1-0 fouled back, and would be maybe a little extra surprising. He's hit really well with runners on base this season, up over 400.
And hitting .429 with RISP. Hawk not yet in scoring position, hanging out at first base.
In addition, I mean, Peltier, his first, I believe, 8 hits of the season were singles, but his last 2 coming into today and his single today were extra bases. So he can easily score Hawk from first. He won't need to now, though, as Hawk advances on a wild pitch and will be in scoring position for Alex Peltier, who has been remarkably effective with guys in scoring position.
And that's tough for Carl. As we mentioned how well he's been spotting up today, and that one he just loses control, yanks it glove side. No chance for White to smother it, and a free base for Hawk and a great opportunity for Alex Peltier.
2-1 for Carl's. Action finally starting in the Gaithersburg bullpen. Peltier watches ball 3 go off the outside part of the plate.
And I want to see Peltier in swing mode here. Don't want him looking for a walk, even with Wright, a good hitter on deck. I mean, Peltier's been seeing the ball so well. Wanted to try and drive Hawk in.
Big hole on the right side. Peltier goes that way, but hits it too hard, and it's caught by Babayev out in right field. I was just about to remark on the big gap over near the second base side as Powell was shaded towards the bag, and Peltier saw it. He just hit it too hard on a line, came off the bat at 98 miles an hour, but right at Babayev.
Yeah, brought in by Babayev. Say that 5 times fast. But really nice piece of hitting by Peltier. Sees a pitch away and stings it that direction. And as you mentioned, that's just a baseball moment. Carries out a bit too far.
So now it's up to Brendan Wright. He bats with runner on second and 2 away. Wright is 0 for 1 today. Had a sac bunt in the first. Peltier advanced to second, eventually came around to score. Popped up to short in the third. He's been on base in all 8 games he's played in. Ball 2 runs inside.
He's running just an 11% strikeout rate, but he has struggled with runners in scoring position, about the only area where he's struggled. He's hitting 133 in those situations, just below 300 all told.
2-0. Line drive, center field. But Jaden Brown is there to make the catch and retire the side. Nicholas Carls is through 5, but the Giants still trail 2-0. Drew Bellis back on the bump when we come back. Drew Bellis out for his second inning of work, and he's up to 20 strikeouts on the season. Jackson, tell me a little bit about what makes him so hard to hit.
Yeah, as a pitcher, he's got a pitch mix that is unique and incredibly difficult to deal with as a hitter. His fastball, as you mentioned last inning, spins so well, just stays up in the zone, about 2 feet of vertical break. That means that it stays 2 feet higher than a pitch thrown with no spin would land. And then on the other end, his curveball breaks about 1.5 feet. So that's 42 inches between the 2 pitches. That's such a large spread to cover if you're a hitter. Nearly impossible, especially when he's pumping it in like Bellis is at about 92 miles an hour. It's just so difficult. And when he spots it up like he does, with the fastball at the top of the zone or above and the curveball right at the bottom, I mean, it's nearly impossible mix to contend with.
Well, Colin Hughes will be the first to contend with it here in the 6th. Bellis steps off, pauses. Now we'll reset. And we haven't even talked about the changeup, which he hasn't really gotten to find the zone yet. If he does, he's even more dangerous. He's good enough with those 2 pitches, but when he has all 3 working, ground ball hit hard, but at Brennan Wright, who goes to a knee to make the stop, flips over to first, and Colin Hughes is retired.
And yeah, that's a good first pitch, just a breaking ball in there, harder breaking ball in the 80s there, and just got a rollover from Hughes, the hot-hitting designated hitter/catcher.
A 1 pitch, 1 out from Drew Bellis. Punched out 2, both looking in the 5th. Now kicks and deals, and a high breaker just misses the top of the zone for ball 1. Babayev 1 for 2 on the evening. Did not play the last time these 2 teams met. That time the breaking ball finds the outside corner. A vintage Bellis pitch for strike 1.
And he's mixing in 2 distinct breakers, kind of a tight little gyro slider that's a bit faster, and right there, the beautiful bending curveball.
Curveball, I would say, is his best pitch. The fastball has a ton of ride, but that curveball, I mean, it is beautiful. Just the way it breaks, the amount it breaks, and the sharpness with which it does.
Yeah, it's wipeout, and it's fast. It's not a big, slow curve. I mean, that pitch comes in at about 80 miles an hour. That's pretty firm, especially for a pitch that moves like it does.
Especially coming off the left-hand side, and at the college level, you don't see a ton of curveballs as good as Bellis is. Behind in the count, 3-1. Throws the fastball and gets a pop-up on the infield. Gonzalez takes charge and makes the grab at the cut of the infield.
And that's the other thing that fastball can do for you. I mean, obviously it's going to get swings and misses, but even when you do make contact on that pitch located as it is, it's so hard to square up. You're going to end up swinging under the baseball. I mean, at a pitch like that, you have to be swinging like a ball and a half above it, at least from where your eyes want to swing if you want to make solid contact. It's so hard to adjust to as a hitter.
2 away, and Rudisil swings through strike 1.
And there's the other thing. It will induce some swings and misses.
Get a lot of swing and misses above the zone with the fastball. A lot of swing and misses below the zone with the curveball. That one hit slowly. Going to be a tough play. Right fields and throws, but not in time. And the first base runner that Bellis has allowed on comes via the infield single. It's Bryce Rudisil.
And that's one where if Drew Bellis happens to be a right-handed pitcher, falls away to the first base side, that's out number 3. But he is a lefty, and just by the laws of nature, he's moving away from that ball when he lets go of the pitch, and it trickles its way into no man's land between Bellis and Brennan Wright. There's really no chance for anybody to make that play.
A runner on first, Drew Bellis still looking sharp. He'll take on Zach White, the catcher. Comes into today hitting above 300. He's 0 for 2 today. The average has fallen below 300 on the year.
They're confident with that changeup, though. Go to it on the first pitch, and it's a very good one for a called strike 1.
0-1 from Bellis. Runs the fastball right by White for strike 2.
And you see Bellis and pitching coach Lopez, who's calling the game, just so confident in the whole mix of the left-hander. It's difficult to adjust.
See what he goes to here. 0-2, buries a fastball. Overthrew that one.
But from both sides of the plate, I mean, he's pitching as you should. He's throwing the changeup to the righties. He's throwing the big curveball more to the lefties. And it's still a pitch that can get righties out. Make no mistake, even though it's coming from the left side. But mixing and matching.
Wave and a miss from Zach White. And that's strike 3, out number 3. Drew Bellis threw 3 strikeouts. Just the 1 hit, 1 left on for the Giants. Big Train still pitching a shutout. We go to the bottom of the 6th. impromptu fireworks show here at Shirley Povich Field, celebrating Juneteenth. I'll let you take those in for a second. And that seems to be the end, so we'll get back to business. I lied, there are more. In the meantime, it's Sean McCabe making what I believe his first pitching appearance this season for the Gaithersburg Giants, coming in relief to replace Nicholas Carls, who had a pretty fantastic outing.
Yeah, Carl's end of the day very solid. 5 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, walked 3, struck out 3. But I mean, as a starter, you want to go at least 5 and keep your team in the ball game, and Carl's did that to the letter.
Sean McCabe is a rising freshman out of St. John's College High School. College of Charleston commit in the fall/spring season. Will be attending in the fall, will be playing in the spring. And I believe, I'll double check that, and I don't want to lie to you guys, but I believe making his first appearance of the year for the Gaithersburg Giants.
I'm surprised they're letting the teams play through the fireworks display just beyond the right field fence, but here we go.
First pitch from McCabe is a strike, and he's off to a good start in his Gaithersburg Giants career and his collegiate career as a whole. As these fireworks continue to go off, John Martinez will have to focus through the noise.
Feels like the Sandlot.
And fireworks going off now because of a field ordinance that says they've got to be set off by about 9 p.m. We hit that mark, so instead of the usual post-game show, we've got 6th inning fireworks.
That's a sad reminder that we got rain delayed once again, about an hour and a half from a 6 p.m. start scheduled.
Martinez goes down swinging. The first batter McCabe faces is a 4-pitch strikeout.
And I wouldn't be surprised if, as long as this show goes on, you see hitters struggle. I mean, it's hard enough to hit these Cal Ripken League pitchers as it is, but when there's 100 decibels worth of fireworks going on in right, even harder.
Well, Logan Panette at the plate. He takes strike 1. So McCabe looking sharp early, picking up where Carl's left off. Carl's retired 12 of the last 14 that he faced, after giving up the lone 2 runs back in the first inning. Count even on Panette. Panette, an RBI single in that first inning, one of just 3 big train hits today. 2-1 from McCabe is low. But Panette ahead 3-1. He's been on base now in every game he's appeared in, all 9. 3-1, big wave and a miss. Cut on a fastball well above the zone. He was looking to hit something there, and the eyes lit up for the fastball that just kept riding above the zone. Full count pitch, well outside. So Panette works a 6-pitch walk, and he'll be aboard for the second time today, and that'll bring up Emilio Gonzalez.
Yeah, McCabe lost Panette there, but the stuff for the young right-hander is looking pretty good. I mean, got Martinez swinging and drew an ugly whiff from a very good hitter in Panette on that fastball. He's got tricky stuff to hit.
And not overpowering on the fastball. Pretty small pitcher, but he gets another swing and a miss from Gonzalez. The fastball coming in about 86, 87, but it's got even more vertical break than the fastball that Drew Bellis is throwing. Not quite as hard, but this one's breaking 26 to 28 inches every time he throws it. Panette takes off, a swing and a miss from Gonzalez. Throw down from White is not in time, and Logan Panette swipes another bag. That'll be number 6 on the season.
Yeah, Panette looking like such a toolsy player. I mean, this guy leads the team in power numbers, but he's also got 6 stolen bases, but behind only Alex Peltier, or rather tied with Peltier for the team lead.
0-2 to Gonzalez. McCabe kicks and deals, and another swing and a miss. So Gonzalez swings at 3 consecutive pitches, doesn't make contact with any of them, and goes down hacking for the second time today.
You know, I really am kind of baffled as to why we're still playing baseball during this fireworks display. I understand that we want to get the game in, but I mean, it's hard to play baseball during a fireworks show.
McCabe looking to get out of the jam. Strike 1 to Peyton Steele. Steele 0 for 1 today, struck out looking in the 4th, walked, and was caught stealing back in this 1st. Chance to extend the Big Train lead. Currently sits at 2-0. McCabe kicks and deals. Misses the zone low with a fastball.
I mean, you'll often see umpires, and rightfully so, who will wave a stop to the game when the walk-up song goes on too long. And that's just blaring from the stadium speakers. This is significantly a bit more distracting than that.
And they brought a lot of fireworks to celebrate Juneteenth, and rightly so. Just because of the rain delay and an unfortunate situation that they have to go off in the middle of the 6th and while the game's going on instead of after the conclusion.
Yeah. I mean, but this game has moved along at such a clip that we could probably afford the 10-minute wait.
Now, we have been moving. Just 8 hits, no errors, 5 walks in this one. Steele fouls one away. Count even at 2 with 2 outs. Runner on second. Double deuces, 22 on the mound. And the Big Train with 2 runs on the board.
Yeah, would like to extend, though. The pitching looking fantastic for the Big Train so far, but a 2-run lead is as good as nil in this high-scoring lead.
2-2, strike 3. Another Gaithersburg pitcher strikes out the side. This time, it's Sean McCabe in his first inning of work in a Giants uniform. And we are in a old-fashioned pitcher's duel. It's 2-0. Jackson will take over on play-by-play for the 7th, and it'll be the Drew Bellis Show once again.
Drew Bellis looking to hold on to a 2-run Bethesda lead. He's been electric as always through his first 2 innings of work, has faced 7 batters, set 6 of them down. The only one who's reached was on a little infield nubber. He'll face Powell, Ruiz-Weiss, and Marino in this half inning.
The fireworks continue to go off. Now it'll be the Giants' chance or turn to hit through the noise. See how much longer we have on them, but every time we think they're done, they come back for more.
First pitch from Bellis is just a bit high, ball 1, and it's sort of a shame in more ways than one at the show overlaps with the game, because it is an impressive fireworks display, but at least for myself, I haven't been able to pay too close of attention. Second pitch is high from Bellis.
Bellis worked 5 innings last time he was out, albeit in a start, so has plenty of length on the arm today.
The 2-0 in there for a strike right down central.
And worth noting that was 8 days ago, so on the one hand, he's very well rested, but on the other, maybe not quite as stretched out as if he had regular rotation play.
But he's been uber efficient, filling up the zone, spots it up again with that big breaking ball. It's 2-2 against Powell. Coils and fires. Called strike 3. Drew Bellis, his 22nd K of the year, is looking against Brady Powell.
At 82 miles an hour on the big curveball. Broke 18 inches horizontally and 18 vertically and 8 horizontally. So that pitch started up and in, finished down and away. Brady Powell had no chance, went down looking.
And now it's a lefty-lefty matchup between Bellis and Brady Ruiz-Weiss. His fastball is upstairs. Fireworks going off in earnest now. Perhaps a big finale as that pitch is called strike 1. But Bellis has struck out 4. Added 2, he struck out 3. As a team, the big trainer inching closer to 100 Ks in the year. That's popped up. It's going to stay on the infield. Martinez searching for it. It's going to drop. He never saw it. Lost in the lights or perhaps the fireworks too. Just never got a beat on it. Corbin couldn't get over and help. And Bellis' 2 hits have both been a bit of the cheap variety.
Yeah, you'll never complain if you're a hitter and you get one like that to drop. But an unfortunate situation. Not sure if it was the night sky, the fireworks, maybe a combination of both. But Ruiz looked like he was taking command and then immediately was like, I don't see it, I don't see it. Unfortunately, Parker Corbin didn't pick that up in time.
Oh, that's a lovely bunt up the first base line by Marino. Hawk sprinting down the line to get there. Had to throw around the runner to make it a close play and threw it away. Marino will stay at first base, but I think the best course of action there had to be to let it go. Just a perfect bunt by Marino.
Yeah, there was always a chance that that rolled foul. Instead, it'll stay fair. Hawk picked it up, and maybe the throw beats him. Scored as a hit, and then a throwing error.
And that's Jaden Brown standing at the dish, not the guy you want in this situation. Marino's got speed at first. Steve, he starts running. First pitch is way inside. Pushes the belt of Jaden Brown out of the box, jumping away.
And Brown, very speedy, so going to be tough to turn to. And the big train defense all back, so maybe content to concede a run, avoiding, unless there's a strikeout or a pop-up on the infield.
Ground ball around the feet of Brown for strike 1. Bellis flips the ball into his glove, wipes the sweat of his brow off, resets the cap, and will return to the rubber for the 1-1 against Jaden Brown. Big at-bat in this game here. Marino steps off. He takes off towards second, and he'll take it unopposed. Bellis didn't want to risk throwing it away, it appeared, and allow Ruiz-Weiss to get going. So Marino swipes second base, and the double play is out of order. Corners are in. The pitch. Strike called. And Brown, we've seen him play a few games now, and this is as uncomfortable as I've seen him look in the box.
Yeah, struck out the first time that he faced Bellis. Set down looking on one of those big benders. And now it's Bellis' best chance of getting out of this inning unscathed if he's able to retire Brown via the K, and he wants to talk about it with Jacob Hawk. Looking at the scoreboard, it appears they scored the Brady Ruiz-Weiss pop-up on the infield as an error to John Martinez. So just the one hit allowed, 2 errors made in the inning by the big train.
But I believe you were right the first time, though, that they did say single and error, allowing Ruiz-Weiss to advance to third on the bunt by Marino.
Yeah.
And a lone firework goes off in right once again. Well, gotta deplete the stock, I guess. Bellis winds up to throw his 38th pitch. Swing and a miss. Drew Bellis, huge strikeout of Jaden Brown, his 5th of the night.
And his biggest of the night as well, with two in scoring position and the best hitter in the Cal Ripken League at the plate. Drew Bellis throws back-to-back curveballs. First one bends in for a strike looking, and then strike 3 out of the zone. Jaden Brown went fishing. Now he's 1 out away of escaping his first jam.
Pitch is low to Danny Orr, but 2 errors putting him in the tough water. I mean, the bunt by Marino, yes, it's an error on Hawk, but it took a nice play to even make it close. The 1-0 now. Strike called. But I think on the pop-up to Martinez, the lights here at Shirley Povich aren't the tallest when compared to some stadiums. The ball might have just got above the lights, lost in the darkness. Just hard to see. The 1-1 now. Swing and a foul. Danny Orr and the Giants down to their last strike here in the top of the 7th. Can Bellis escape? The 1-2. Called strike 3. Wizardry, sorcery, and warlockism from Drew Bellis on the mound escapes the biggest jam of the game and allows the Big Train to hold on to their 2-0 lead. Stay with us between the inning break here as we introduce you to our new segment on the Big Train Baseball Network, Big Train in the Bigs.
Hello and welcome to our new segment on the Big Train Baseball Network, Big Train in the Bigs. Current St. Louis Cardinals outfielder and first baseman Alec Burleson pounded 10 home runs in 2018 with the Big Train, helping the squad to a league co-championship. He also outpitched current Astros ace Hunter Brown that year with a near-flawless 0.34 ERA. This year for the Birds on the bat, he is hitting .305 with 6 home runs, including a long one just last night on the south side of Chicago. That batting mark is 6th in the National League among hitters with 200 or more at-bats. The lefty's swing has helped the Cards to surprising early playoff contention in the NL. In keeping with his collegiate two-way proclivity, he's thrown a scoreless inning in addition. The 26-year-old, known as Burley, will look to keep raking throughout this 2025 campaign.
My goodness, more electric baseball from Drew Bellis last inning, escaping a second and third one-out jam. And now the Bethesda Big Train will look to add on to their tally here at Shirley Povich Field with the bottom third of the lineup up against the new pitcher, Eliav.
And new pitcher Gray Willis out of Harford Community College in Maryland. Hometown rising sun in the great state of Maryland. Appeared just twice and allowed a 67.50 ERA. Just recorded 2 outs, walked 4, and half the batters that he faced reached via hit.
Sean McCabe had an excellent one inning of work, walked 1 and struck out 3 with the aid of some fireworks behind him, but looked very sharp against the tough middle of the Big Train order.
Now Willis thus far this is his first appearance out of the bullpen. Started the first 2 games he played in. Picked up a loss in his only decision. 4.2 innings pitched, 4 earned runs, 9 walks is the main mark against him. 7.71 ERA. We'll see if he can bring that down a little here in what's still a very winnable game for the Gaithersburg Giants if their bats can touch Drew Bellis or whoever else may come out of the Big Train bullpen.
He fires a strike into Wesley and just misses the zone with another. Wesley, a patient hitter sitting here in the 7-hole. He'll work himself a walk.
And Matt Wesley, 7 walks on the season, only had 9 all of last year in 27 games with Big Train, but 7 here in the first 7 appearances, including 6 in his first 2 games. He's taken fewer walks since then, but still the mark near the top of the Cal Ripken League.
Payoff pitch. Swinging a ground ball down the third base line and foul.
Now Wesley, even when he's not walking, and he's only walked once in his last 5 appearances, works good at bats, has only struck out 3 times, and he puts the ball in play a lot. He fights off 2-strike pitches a lot.
Hallmark of this Big Train offense as he fights it off once again. But this team strikes out less than any other in the Cal Ripken League. Compare them to Gaithersburg. They have 30 less strikeouts coming into this game than the Giants, just 56 on the year before this game. They're up to 62 now with the 6 in this contest. Fly ball right center field. Seeing it and catching it is Babayev out there in right. Wesley is set down.
Willis picking up where McCabe left off, and it's been a struggle offensively for the Big Train since that first inning. Just 3 batters have reached in the last 5 1/3, which actually is fewer than the Gaithersburg Giants have put on since that first inning where they threatened. They had a couple runners, 3 runners reach in the 3rd. They had 1 in the 4th, 1 in the 5th, and 2 in the 6th, so that makes 7 by my math.
And when you look at the Giants' numbers coming into this game, as that pitch is outside and low to Corbin, now 2 balls, no strikes. I mean, you'd expect shootouts. This team can hit. They really can, but they've just struggled with the pitching side. But a good old-fashioned pitcher's duel, 0 after 0 on the inning-by-inning scoreboard here at Shirley Povich. That's grounded foul. But at the end of the day, it's a close ball game. It's a fun ball game. Lots of cool moments, but just so much fun to be back at the ballpark after an unasked-for hiatus.
Yeah, really enjoyable. It's turned into a perfect night for baseball. Not too hot. We had the Juneteenth Classic, the celebration, the bobbleheads. Got the fireworks. We had the beautiful sunset. So all in all, just besides for the 90-minute start, you can't ask for a better baseball game.
Corbin takes strike 2. He's grounded out to the pitcher and the first baseman. 1-3 and 3-1 reads his scorecard line. The 2-2 from the lefty Willis. Inside and plunks Parker Corbin. He's taken a few of those throughout this year. He is tied for 3rd in the league with 3 hit by pitches coming into this game, so that is now his 4th.
Parker Corbin aboard for the first time today. And that's, I believe all but 1 game he's been aboard. Maybe every single game. Check that for me. But in the meantime, see if the Big Train can threaten with a couple of righties batting. Hawk, who's reached both times up, and then Peltier, who's always dynamic.
That's way inside. Brushes back Jacob Hawk, who, as you mentioned last time, Eliav, now hitting a square 500 on the season. Both catchers for the Big Train have been nestled at the bottom of the order, providing some punch down there, putting in great at-bats, both Hawk and Murphy.
Worth noting that Hawk was in the starting lineup for the Big Train in their suspended game last Friday in the 6th spot. So earning himself a move up. So he gets plunked again, back-to-back hit batters. But Hawk was on his way up the lineup, and then the week hiatus brought him right back down.
The thing is, despite how well Hawk has hit, there's not really anyone that I see on this team and I think 9-hole, you know? I mean, Peltier, Wright, Martinez, obviously those are the guys you want at the top of your lineup. Panette's been slugging. Gonzalez has found his groove, over 3 today, but obviously those 3 straight 3-hit games.
I would say if there's a guy, if I was to make a lineup change to move Hawk up, and I would just based on how well he's hitting, I would probably put the left fielder. So today Matthew Wesley, and on other days, Brett Ott in the 9 spot, I think. And sometimes Josh Skoronsky as well. They're kind of the three of them sharing time out there. Occasionally we'll get a starting writer at DH, but those are kind of my 3 guys where I think they all put together really good at-bats consistently, not a lot of strikeouts, able to turn the lineup over, but they're not packing a ton of pop. They're not hitting for a super high average, and they can kind of set the tone in that 9 spot while allowing Jacob Hawk to slide up the lineup and get more at-bats and be in a position to drive in runs, which he's done really well this season.
Here's Peltier. He squares, pulls back, and takes strike 1. Another guy I wouldn't hate in this spot, in sort of a different idea of the 9 hole, is Brennan Wright, using him as more of the second leadoff hitter idea of the 9 hole than as, a truly 9th best hitter in the lineup.
Yeah, Wright's he's been a little inconsistent with the bat. I mean, he's hitting .294. He's had a couple of really good games, a couple of games where, he's hitting in the 2 spot and is standing out as struggling at like his quiet games are stand out because of how well Hawk at the 9 and Peltier at the 1 get on base. And that's something that I think when I look at this lineup, I'm like, oh, Brennan Wright is not having a great season. And then I look at the numbers and he's having an excellent season, reaching base 43% of the time. He's doubled. He's got 7 runs scored, 7 walks. And he's awesome in the 2, but I as well, I think, would be understand if they put him in the 9 spot.
Broken bat floater into left field. It drops. Marino tracking back, grabbing the ball. Can't get it in time to beat out any of Corbin or Hawk. Bloop single for Peltier, his second hit of the day. Loads him up for Brennan Wright.
Peltier, not a hard hit ball. First single was hit hard into left field that time. Little flare towards the left side, but Marino backtracking. He's made a couple of running catches headed back in the outfield grass today. That was not one of them. And now we'll see Brennan Wright if he can come through. Just 2 for 16 with runners in scoring position this season. A big one here.
That pitch goes to the backstop. The runner takes off from third. Diving in time is Corbin. He crosses the plate to make it 3-0 Bethesda, making the most of a wild pitch, 2 hit by pitches. They extend their lead.
And it's been the control for Gray Willis that has plagued him all season. 9 walks coming in. He's already beaten 2 batters, and that one gets away from him for a wild pitch that scores the first run of the inning.
Brennan Wright is 5 of 13 against Southpaws this year. The infield is well in on the grass for him. He fouls the 1-0 back. There's action in the Giants bullpen, backing up Gray Willis if he gets into further trouble. The 1-1 to Wright. Off his back, a third hit by pitch in the inning, and it's loaded up for John Martinez.
And Brennan Wright on his way down to first is like, dang, I wish he didn't throw that wild pitch. If that first pitch is caught by Zach White behind the plate, Wright picks up an RBI for his pain. Instead, trots down to first. Nothing to show for it but a reaching base, and now is the trail runner with the powerful John Martinez at the dish.
0 for 2, a walk, a flyout, and a strikeout for today's shortstop. The pitch to him, outside ball 1. Big Train can really break this ball game open with a couple more tallies in this bottom of the 7th.
Big Train are hitting just 3 for 18 this season with the bases loaded, but they've driven in 22 runs. So productive, even when they're making outs. A lot of sac flies. They lead the league in sac flies. They ground into outs, and those 3 hits, one of which was a grand slam, was responsible for a bunch of runs. And I mentioned Brennan Wright robbed of an RBI. They've picked up a number of walks / hit by pitches that have turned into runs batted in with the bases loaded.
Absolutely. The Big Train mantra has been get him over, get him in. They've found a way to score runs. The pitch to Martinez is a called strike. Logan Panett, the author of that grand slam, well known by now, the round tripper on opening night to tie the game late. He waits in the wings. Martinez faces a 1-2 from Willis. The delivery. Swing and a miss. Foul tips it into the glove of White for out number 2.
And a big second strikeout, especially with Panett coming to the dish. You don't want to face him with fewer than 2 outs. He is going to put one somewhere hard, and if that's in the outfield, it would have been a sac fly. And John Martinez leads the league in sacrifice flies with 3, but unable to fly one into the outfield grass.
Swing and a pop foul from the bat of Panette, who singled in a run and walked today.
Panette 5 for 16 this season with runners in scoring position. He's driven in 12, including those 2 homers. Grand slam and a 2-run blast.
Willis set at the belt. The pitch just a bit outside. He's thrown 29 pitches, 15 of which have been strikes. His 30th will head towards the plate with Panette waggling the bat over his back shoulder, holds it down on the knob. Now Willis steps off, reconsiders, pats his chest, says, "Sorry, Zach White. I'll get the sign right this time." Now he does. Peers off into the blackness, and the pitch just off the zone low.
Big Train protecting what feels like it should be more comfortable of a lead than it actually is. 3-0, but the way the Giants hit, you'd love to see some more runs across the plate. Last inning, they threatened. They've threatened a couple of times today. Haven't been able to push one across with Drew Bellis cleaning up in the 7th, but if the Big Train can pick up, if Logan Panette can pick up a hit here and turn this into a 4 or 5-run game, feel a lot better.
2-2. Outside, ball 3. Count runs full for Panette.
Gaithersburg have had a number of instances where they've tried to mount late-game comebacks and come up just short. One stands out. They were down 8-0 and brought it all the way back to lose 8-7. So if the Big Train don't extend.
Swing and a looper out of play.
I'd almost hit a couple of our interns over there behind the first base stands. But as I was saying, if the Big Train can't extend those Gaithersburg comebacks, they've come up short a couple times in 1-run losses, but they're tallying 4, 5, 6 runs in the late innings. Big Train have to be wary of that.
The payoff. Ball 4. As you mentioned, Eliav, finding a way. The Big Train force in a run with a base on balls. Logan Panette, his 2nd RBI of the day, extends his league lead in the category. He's at 14 for the campaign.
And that'll be it for Gray Willis, who gives up 4 free passes, 3 via the hit by pitch. And the Big Train will attempt to extend their lead. We'll see who comes in next, but certainly an encouraging insurance inning for the Train.
You're watching the Big Train Baseball Network. We'll return with a new pitcher on the mound after this. Alongside Eliot Brooks-Rubin, I'm Jackson Corcoran. Gibson hurt on the bells and whistles over there in the producer's booth. Alex Cromwell replacing Gray Willis. He's got the bases loaded, and Emilio Gonzalez at the plate. The first pitch to him zips across the zone. Big two-seamer is taken for a ball. The 1-0 to Gonzalez inside, nearly a fourth hit by pitch in the inning. But Gonzalez plies out of the way.
It's a good word. Cromwell yet to be credited with an earned run. One unearned run allowed across 2.2 innings pitched. In his fourth appearance now, has allowed one hit, has walked 4, but struck out 5, and just a 100 batting average against. So Gonzalez in for a tough spot here, but a hit would blow this game wide open.
Struck out in his last 2 at-bats. The 2-1, taken for a strike. Gonzalez disagrees. He's struck out looking once, swinging once. He's also had a productive out, grounded out to force in the second run of the game. Trying to be just straight up productive here. The 2-2, swing and a foul.
Good job from Gonzalez. Like many of these big train hitters, are just fouling off pitches. These Giants' arms haven't been overpowering with their stuff, and the big train are doing a good job to not get beat with,
2-2 outside. Just not getting beat. I think that's a great word for it. Is there striking out? Yes. I mean, they have. They've struck out 7 times today, but they're not getting fooled. They're not getting beat. They're just seeing good pitches from the Giants. That is going to be ball 4. Gonzalez wins the at-bat. Another bases loaded, base on balls, and it's 5-0 Big Train.
really good at-bat from Gonzalez. Sees 8 pitches, drives in Alex Peltier. The big train on the verge of 6 runs, which has been the magic number. The Gaithersburg Giants have not allowed fewer than 6 runs in any game this season. Their one win coming against the big train in an 11-10 shootout, game that saw the Giants jump out to a 4-1 lead, then go down 8-4 before going back on top 9-8, and then a tie game at 9 turned into an 11-9 lead, which the Giants protected. But since then, it's been a lot of runs allowed and not as many scored.
Steele way ahead. It's 2-0, and the big train have batted around this inning, and nobody can tell me different. The 9th batter for Bethesda to come up to the plate. That's been a source of heated debate among the media folks in this big train press box. It's now 3-0, but for the folks at home, 9 batters an inning or 10 batters an inning, what qualifies as batting around? That's been the source of contention for the Kirkjian Fellows in the recent days. 3-0 is a called strike to Steele, the 9th man to hit in the inning.
Well, I wouldn't limit it to the Kirkjian Fellows. We've involved the Vec Fellows, our full-time adult staff. We've talked to the players. We put it on the Instagram. We've had a lot of time to discuss this and have not come to an agreement. But both you, I, and Quincy, our third broadcaster, who will be on air tomorrow, weather permitting, all believe that it's 9. Gibson, though, showing us a thumbs down. He is firmly on the 10 train.
I will say the first mention in print of batting around in a baseball game is for an inning that 9 men came to the plate. Anyway, the 3-2 pitch to Steele. Runners take off. Ball 4 once again. 3 straight walks. And now no matter what side you're on, the big train have definitely batted around, and they lead 6-0.
And coming in, it has been a struggle for Alex Cromwell, who had walked 4 in his first 3 appearances, but he's picked up 2 more without retiring an out. Both runs are going to be credited to Gray Willis, as will the runner on third, but everything after that will be charged to Cromwell, as he needs to find the zone, as this game is slipping out of the hands of the Gaithersburg Giants.
Just 1 hit in the inning. 4 runs have come from it. Wesley taps it foul.
3 hit by pitches and 3 walks to go with that hit. A strikeout And Wesley's fly out to right field, the only 2 outs of the inning.
1-1. That's a nice pitch from Cromwell. Catches Wesley looking for strike 2. Cromwell has thrown 16 pitches, 9 of which have been out of the zone. Walked the first 2 batters he's faced. The 1-2 now is popped up. That may stay in play. Moving over, bending into the net is Danny Orr. He'll lose sight of it as it goes into the bleachers.
Wesley breathes another life as he will look to drive in a couple. It's been a struggle for him today. 0 for 3. He's retired in each of the major ways, a strikeout, a ground out, and a fly out. Looking to find his way on.
Just 4 hits for the Big Train in their Newark Eagles jerseys. The 1-2. Swinging a line drive into left center field. That's dropping fast. That's going to get away from Marino. 1 run's going to score. 2 runs are going to score. Wesley scoots over to second base. 2-run hit. Falls into the Bermuda Triangle out there in left center field. And it's now 8-0.
And I will say this game has officially gotten away from the Gaithersburg Giants. What was a pitcher's duel is now just turning into a one-sided shutout bid for the Big Train. And the free passes have haunted the Gaithersburg Giants yet again. They came into today 7th in whip, only 1 team worse. That was the Metro SoCo Braves. And this inning has been a nightmare for a duo of pitchers.
Cromwell trying to stop the bleeding. And now 6 runs in the inning on just 2 hits. Neither of them incredibly well struck. That one just looped away from Marino. Now the 0-1 to Parker Corbin. He was hit by a pitch earlier this inning. He takes ball 1. Corbin slightly open stance, pats the bat on his shoulder, swings and lines it into left field. That's sending back Ruiz-Weiss. He settles just in front of the track and retires Corbin. The Big Train on just 2 hits pick up 6 runs, and I've probably put this ball game to bed. 2 innings left to go. Bellis and company looking to put things away here in Bethesda. Saturday, June 21st is a doubleheader here at Shirley Povich Field. Game 1 of the Twin Bill starts at 4 p.m. with Game 2 tentatively beginning at 7. Will begin whenever Game 1 concludes. Tickets for the game being made up June 15th are valid for both games. Plushies and chalk will be given away to the first 100 kids 10 and under during Game 1. And a Pride fan for Pride Month, June, will be given out in the nightcap. Be sure to get your tickets at bigtrain.org/tickets. If you haven't already, that's bigtrain.org/tickets. Tyler Brashear now on the mound, Ilyav. He's coming off a very, very nice outing.
Yeah, Brashear, first time out, struggled a little bit. Gave up 2 earned in 2/3 of an inning. But last time out, 4 1/3 pitched. A hit, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts, no runs allowed in a win against the SoCo Braves. That was a game that the Big Train only used 2 pitchers. Austin Monahan went the first 4 2/3, came up 1 out short of a win. Instead, it fell to Brashear, who closed the deal. In a game, the Big Train eventually won 14-4.
Brashear, the tall, long-levered right-hander, will face Hughes, Babayev, and Rudisil here in the top half of the 8th. 8-0 lead for the hosts. First pitch for Brashear. Strike 1 called.
Brashear, fastball runs in around 90, 91 miles an hour. That one spotted very well on the outside part of the plate. A little more of a two-seam action. Ran about 19 inches to the arm side. Going to be tough for lefties, especially to hit. Or tough for righties, I mean, especially to hit if it runs into their bats. But with the way he's spotting it on the outside part of the plate, lefties are going to have to get that bat head out.
And with those long levers, the extension he gets is very good. That ball rushes up on you a bit faster than you might think, and he blows it by Colin Hughes. The 10th strikeout of the Big Train's day, and the first of last year's hitter of the week. Week's hitter of the week, I should say.
Last year's hitter of the week would be impressive.
I did not do it, did not get hitter of the week 9 straight times last year, just last week, but did hit very well. And the Big Train have set him down twice today. He's 1 for 3, but Aaron Babayev also 1 for 3. He singled back in the 3rd, but his joy was short-lived after the incredible play by Wesley, gunning down Danny Orr at home plate. First pitch is a ball to Babayev.
Not his fault that the runner was gunned down, but his single did end the inning. Trying to get aboard here for the second time and get to run the bases for the first time.
He takes strike 1, but Brashear, one of many Big Train pitchers that had maybe a bit of a shaky first outing, came out the second time and looked just so much more comfortable on the mound, and he's carried that over into this outing, looking sharp through the first 2 batters.
I mean, you could make an argument that there is not a single Big Train pitcher who looked better in their first appearance than their second, and there are a few pitchers with 3 appearances. Some of them, the second looked better than the third, but for the most part, I mean, the Big Train pitchers have gotten better the more they've been used. Atatui, Bellis stand out, Owen Stewart another one, James Gladden looked a lot better his second time out, so if the trajectory continues to stay up, this Big Train team is going to be really tough to beat.
And the pitching has gotten better and better and better throughout the year. Back-to-back games before the long absence, allowing just 3 runs. So far, the pitching has been excellent. Atatui and Bellis, 7 brilliant frames, and now Brashear struck out his first, the 2-2 now to Babayev. Sneaks outside, count is full. See Brashear up there, his so far untainted Eagles specialty jersey glimmering in the lights as we creep close to 10 p.m. Eastern Time, the 3-2. Strike 3 called, back-to-back Ks for Brashear.
Really nice pitch from Tyler Brashear. And the Big Train continue to set down Gaithersburg Giants hitters. That's 12 strikeouts on the day for the 3 combined.
And you have to go all the way back to the 4th inning to find a ball that any Giants hitter really hit hard. That was Brady Powell's double to the wall. I mean, Bellis and now Brashear, and the last couple batters faced by Atatui have just been really overmatched.
I mean, at that point, after the doublers, there were 4 hits by the Gaithersburg Giants with 2 outs in the 4th inning, just 2 strikeouts. Since then, 2 hits, a flare that was dropped on the infield because of a light, lost in the light or a miscommunication, and a slow grounder on the first base side, and 10 strikeouts in the ensuing 4 innings.
The 1-1 grounded off the foot of Bryce Rudisil, so he'll remain at the plate. He started hopping around inside the batter's box, made no mistake to display that he cannot be put out on that pitch.
Hard to tell. Sometimes these hitters will act it up a little, whether they're hit or not, and try to sell it. Hard to tell how much of that was genuine pain versus ensuring that he got another swing.
Brashear trying to make him regret that extra swing and strike out the side. The 1-2. He got him! Brashear, 3 straight strikeouts. That is now 5 straight Giants set down via the K. 100 strikeouts on the year for Big Train pitching. We're going to the bottom of the 8th on the Big Train Baseball Network, 8-0 Bethesda. The Bethesda Big Train had a big 7th inning, 6 runs on the benefit of just 2 hits, taking advantage of free passes issued by Gray Willis and Alex Cromwell to put this game likely to bed. But there's a reason they play the games. Still have to finish out this one and try and win the Big Train's 5th straight. Trying to maybe add a bit more is Jacob Hawk leading off in the bottom of the 8th.
Hawk's been on every time today. A single, a walk, and a hit by pitch. He's scored the most recent time back in the 7th. 11 batters hit for the Big Train in the 7th.
See, what I think we need to do, seeing as Hawk has reached base 3 different times, in 3 different ways today, is we have a new cycle where you reach base in every way you possibly can. It would take a pretty long game to do it.
Let's see. You got. Are we taking all hits as just a hit?
Yes.
Okay, so you got a hit.
Yep.
You got a walk. You got a hit by pitch. You have. Are we counting reached on error?
Yes.
And then you got a catcher's interference. Those are the 5.
Fielder's choice.
I don't count that.
That's reaching first.
Okay.
That's why if it's not hard, it's not worth doing. You're gonna need to get a 17-inning game or so to get all those at bats in. That pitch off the helmet of Jacob Hawk, trying to bend out of the way. Unfortunately, bent in. He's jogging down to first. Hopefully, he's all right.
I don't know. A 6-way cycle is a little tough. I don't mind the single walk, hit by pitch, catcher's interference. I think fielder's choice, reached on error. There are either outs made or outs should have been made on the play. I think you can exclude those. I think a cycle should be 4 things, since that's what the normal cycle is. You can hit for the home run cycle, a solo 2-run, 3-run, and a grand slam.
One of the last players I know who did that at the professional level was Springfield Cardinals' Chandler Redmond. I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe he did it in order too.
Now that's impressive. But in my book, if Jacob Hawk had reached on a catcher's interference on that play, I would have credited him with the reach base in different ways cycle. What do we want to call that though? You've got the cycle, you've got the home run cycle.
On base cycle?
On base cycle, I can live with that. because they call it hit for the cycle. So he would have been on base for the cycle.
On base for the cycle. Swinging a line drive into right field. That is going to one-hop the wall. Well struck by the hitter there, and pulling up into second with a double. That's Brett Ott.
Brett Ott pinch hitting for Alex Peltier and making the most of his opportunity. He will hit just his second extra base hit of the day.
Hopefully that's a get-right swing for Ott, who's been a bit up and down. When you say a guy hasn't looked up to standard in the big train lineup, that just means he's not hitting 300, because Brett Ott's still OPSing near 800, now above that with the double, reaching base at a 50% clip, but hitting just 235. But that was really well struck. Seeing it well, coming straight off the bench, too. That's so difficult. But a good swing by Ott, and we hope that gets him on a tear like most of the rest of the lineup.
And just makes the lineup decisions for Sal Colangelo even harder. If Ott's hitting.
And back picking down at third is Zach White. Gets his fellow catcher Hawk leaning, and he is going to be picked off. Nice play by White late in this game. It's 8-0, and he's still alert, making a nice throw.
A tough way to go. Getting picked off third base with nobody out is a tough look for Jacob Hawk.
And another plunking. It's Brennan Wright, the second time in 2 plate appearances for the lefty, and now John Martinez.
But as I was saying, I mean, you look at the production that the Big Train have had in the outfield. Peyton Steele started really hot. He's cooled off just a little bit. Josh Skoronski's been in and out of the lineup. Matt Wesley the same. If Brett Ott can hit, if Wesley can hit, and he's been just picked up a 2 RBI single his last time up. You look at those 4 guys manning 2 outfield spots with Peltier holding down center, and occasionally the DH role when Corbin/Panette are not in it. There's a lot of guys on this team who deserve at-bats, and they're not all going to get them.
Well, the silver lining to that is we have so many games coming up. All these rainouts are still going to get played eventually, so double headers and back-to-back days abound. There won't be many off days for the rest of the season, and that's where depth really helps you.
And we got 3 double headers scheduled in the next 10 days, which I believe puts us at a pace of 13 games in the next 10 days, if I'm doing my math correctly. Today's Thursday. That's 1, 2, 4 through the end of the weekend. 5 through the end of the weekend, and counting today's game.
It's a good take by Martinez to even up the count at 2 apiece.
And then you look ahead to next week. There's no day off Tuesday like there usually is because of the rain out. And we'll play games across the next 12 days with 3 doubleheaders. That's 15 games, Jackson. These pitchers are going to be tested. The lineup stamina is going to be tested. There are a lot of good bats in this lineup, but it's one of the shorter benches in the Cal Ripken League.
Ground ball towards short. Marino throws on the run and gets the other side's shortstop. Martinez on the 6-3 putout, bringing up Josh Skoronski, pinch hitting for Panette.
Skoronski, another guy who's been up and down and having a fine season. By no means hitting poorly, but has been kind of the odd man out at times this year, hitting 259, OPS around 700. He is 4 for 12 with runners in scoring position, though, so this is a good spot for him to show what he can do.
And with runners at second and third, he's facing a righty, hitting 333 against right-handed pitching. His bugaboo has been southpaws, where he's 1 for 9. First pitch to Skoronski is a slider outside from Cromwell.
As I was saying, I mean, the Big Train, you look at their team, there's only 12 guys, really, 12 hitters on this team. The infielders, or maybe, I may be off, there may be 13. But whatever the number is, there's not a lot of at-bats to go around. But you're looking at when they play a lot of games in a row, it's going to get tiring for some of these dudes playing the more difficult positions. Catchers are going to catch back-to-back games once we start playing double headers. The middle infield, Brennan Wright and John Martinez, Emilio Gonzalez at first, Alex Peltier in center. They don't figure to get many days off, if any. So it'll be a little bit of a rotation in the outfield, and at third base. But I imagine that for the most part, maybe Corbin will play at second, but I imagine for the most part, some of these guys are going to play every single day for 12 days straight, and including 3 doubleheaders.
And that's why being able to give, even if it's just for an inning or two, a breather to Peltier and Panette, 2 of your most heavily used players, is nice. The 3-2 to Skaronski, ground ball up the middle, gliding over and making the stab is Powell. Throws to first to retire Skaronski. So the first 3 runners reach, but nobody scores for Bethesda. 1 hit, 2 runners left on. It's still 8-0. Sunday, June 22nd, is Jewish Heritage Night at Shirley Povich Field. Tickets are selling fast for this popular game celebrating Jewish Americans in baseball, so be sure to get them soon at bigtrain.org/tickets. That's bigtrain.org/tickets. Here's Michael Cass, a bit more Natalie attired than the last time he took the mound. He was wearing a Woodbridge Vikings high school jersey the last time he pitched against the DC Grays in Woodbridge. This time he's wearing a Newark Eagles jersey like the rest of his fellows. So in the 3 appearances he's made, only once has he been wearing a Big Train jersey.
And his first 2 were both against the DC Grays. This will be his first time facing a different team. First time out was a struggle. Gave up the 12th run in a 12-11 loss, pitched in the 9th in that one. Did not record an out. But last week against the Grays was a lot sharper. 1 inning, still walked 2 just like the first time, but struck out 2 and did not allow a run. Just tasked with getting 3 outs here, but preserving the shutout, which would be noteworthy. Only 1 shutout has happened all season in the Cal Ripken League. This would be the second. The only other one, a 9-0 thumping of the only crop dusters by the Southern Maryland Senators.
He's worked the count 3-0 and a 4-pitch walk issued to Zach White from Cass.
So walks continue to be a little bit of a struggle. Now 5 walks in 1+ inning pitched, but see if he can't find the zone here. Pinch hitter being announced for the Gaithersburg Giants.
The last shutout for the Big Train was June 26th, 2024, 13-0 on the road against the DC Grays.
It'll be Nate Houghton Henley, another St. John's commit. So the second, or St. John's grad from this year. So the second time we've seen a St. John's 2025 grad take the field for the Gaithersburg Giants tonight. Houghton Henley committed to the University of Maryland. So saying hi to his future teammate, Jacob Hawk, who sits behind the plate.
He's replacing Brady Powell. Zach White on first base. Cass has thrown 5 pitches all out of the zone, looking to work his way back in. The 1-0, up and away.
Cass still yet to find the strike zone, and pitching coach Craig Lopez out for a quick chat. First mound visit that the Big Train have made all night long. Other than, I guess, the one impromptu meeting where Bellis beckoned out Hawk to discuss his approach against Jaden Brown, which ended in a strikeout. So successful mound visit the first time, hopefully, for Michael Cass and company. This one will be equally successful.
Lopez applies a clamp to the right shoulder of Michael Cass, issues some reassuring words to his young right-handed pitcher. Jacob Hawk nods his assent. It's been an excellent game all around for Bethesda. 8-0 they lead. They've taken advantage of small chances, and they've pitched brilliantly all day. 12 strikeouts as a squad to just 2 walks before this inning. Cass issued the third of the game. And now he's still got plenty of wiggle room to settle into the contest and throw a clean frame. Houghton Henley holds the bat near his ear, waggles it a bit, now stills it, and takes ball 3.
Michael Cass just a little jumpy. Hasn't pitched in a week and a half. Looking to establish something here. A 3-0 count. Even if he ends up walking Houghton Henley, finding the zone first would be a welcome sight.
Pitch. High ball 4. Back-to-back walks from Cass. And it brings up Brady Ruiz-Weiss's pinch hitter.
It's Magnus Krieger, who had a successful first day against the Big Train. 2 for 3 last time these teams met. Hit a double, drove in 2, scored 3, reached 4 times, a walk and a hit by pitch, supplementing those 2 hits.
First pitch to Krieger is a strike. Krieger, a big fella, stands at 6'2", 215.
Out of Seton Hall, the Pirates, up in New Jersey.
The 0-1 from Cass is low and picked by Hawk.
Cass finally finds the strike zone for strike 1 and then loses it a little bit. Bounces ball 1. See if he can get back to in the zone. Doesn't need to work around the edges here with an 8-0 lead.
The pitch. Breaking ball, not a bad pitch, but twists outside.
To lead this comfortable, if you're Michael Cass, you just want to pound the zone, allow these Giants players to put the ball in play. They may pick up a couple hits, but probably not enough to score 8 runs without free passes.
2-1 swing and a miss.
A good pitch from Cass. I don't love that swing from Krieger. You're chasing 8. You're not going to get it all back in one swing. That pitch was off the plate on the outside part. Ahead in the count 2-1. I probably would have liked to see Krieger take that. Maybe it gets called a strike. It was a close pitch, but otherwise you're ahead 3-1, chance to load the bases.
2-2. Swing and a soft line drive into right field. It's on a hop in front of the right fielder. The throw goes into second. He's safe. Hopping on that ball is Steele and delivers a strike to Martinez there at short. Just sliding in front of the tag is Houghton Henley.
The Big Train now work to do to protect the shutout. Still lead fairly comfortable at the moment, but certainly going to be tricky for Cass to get out of this without allowing at least one Giant to cross the plate.
Aiden Marino takes ball 1, the 5'9" shortstop out of Bradenton, Florida.
Marino picked up a single. Stole a base last time up.
Pitch in there for a strike.
Or excuse me, single, and then moved over to second on the... No. Single on the single and an error by Jacob Hawk, and then stole the base right in front of Drew Bellis, who stepped off the mound, but didn't know what to do, didn't even throw a pitch.
Pitch high from Cass. There's nowhere to put Marino. And the count is 2-1. The delivery. Ball outside. And Colangelo and Co. would really rather not use another pitcher here in this situation. But you don't want to give it the chance to unravel. I'm sure Cass will have leash, though, in this 8-0 game. The 3-1. Swing and a miss.
A good pitch there from Cass. See, I don't mind that. It was right over the heart of the plate, but his fastball plays. Coming from UCF, was a power 4 recruit. That fastball certainly has the life to retire hitters here. He's just got to be in the zone and force them to put it in play.
The payoff. Called strike 3. Hits the corner and retires Marino. First out of the inning, two away from a Big Train victory. He'll have to work through this tough top of the Giants lineup that has been kept mostly in check today as a unit.
Yeah, just 2 hits for the top 3 in the lineup, which is maybe the most dangerous top 3 of any order in this league. Brown has the 1 hit. He walked once but has struck out twice. Or walked for his only time reaching. He struck out twice on deck. And then Colin Hughes, the reigning hitter of the week, a single and a hit by pitch, but he's also struck out.
Pitch to Brown, swing and a foul.
Drew Bellis really got the better of this top of the lineup when he faced them. They went collectively 0 for 5 against Bellis, 4 strikeouts. Both Brown and Orr were punched out twice, taking on Drew Bellis.
Cass's delivery, just a bit high. Count is 2-1 to Brown. Bellis showed that it's not impossible to work back from a trailing count against the league's best hitter so far. Cass trying to emulate his teammates' example. The 2-1 is high, now 3 balls, 1 strike. One pitch away, though. A ground ball could end this ball game. The 3-1. Ball up and in. That's going to be the 3rd walk of the inning, and the shutout is no more.
Big Train lose a chance to do what's only been done once this season, but still plenty of leash, 7-run lead. That'll be it for Michael Cass. Second mound visit of an inning means an automatic call to the bullpen. So Cass's day will be done. Big Train still up 7.
And we'll send you to a break here on the Big Train Baseball Network. Bethesda looking to close it down when we come back. Owen Stewart enters the game for the Big Train. He's looked excellent in his first 3 outings, has pitched to a 0 ERA so far.
Twice against the Grays, combined for 3 innings, 3 strikeouts, and 3 base runners. His lone other appearance, a 5-pitch save against the Thunderbolts all the way back in the Game 3 of the season. So he will not earn a save if he gets out of this inning, but still looking for a similarly short and effective 9th inning appearance. His first time out was in the 9th inning after also replacing Cass after Cass allowed that eventually game-winning run to score all the way back on opening night. So experience in the 9th, experience replacing Cass, and experience in tough spots.
He's had 4 inherited runners on base when he's come into ball games on the year and allowed just 1 of them to score. He's retired the first batter in each of his first 3 apps. Swinging a fly into center field, that's going to send Ott back. It'll drift over into right, where Peyton Steele makes the catch, throws it into third, and will hold up Brady Ruiz-Weiss at second there, but Brady Powell is going to cross on the sac fly, so it is now 8-2.
All right, good job by Owen Stewart. Understanding you got a big lead. You just need to be in the strike zone. That run can score. The runner on second can score. And the Big Train are not in danger. Now just 1 out away.
Colin Hughes looking to extend the baseball game. Number 38 splashed across his back against number 37 Stewart on the mound. The first pitch to Hughes, swinging a foul ball into the Giants' dugout, causing some consternation and uproar among his teammates. Just the second lefty that Stewart has faced on the year. He retired the one he did prior. On the whole, batters are hitting just 167 against him. The 0-1. Swinging a ground ball towards first base. Smothered there by Emilio Gonzalez. He kicks the bag. And that's a Big Train winner. You can blow the whistle, sound the horn. The Big Train have now won 5 in a row and are 6-3 on the season with an 8-2 defeat of the Gaithersburg Giants.
That Big Train dominant pitching. It was Kide Atatui and Drew Bellis, and then Tyler Brashear, who shut out the Giants through 8. 2 runs in the first were all that they needed eventually until that 7th inning that gave them the insurance 6-run spot against a couple of wild throwing Giants arms. The Big Train comfortably win yet another game, and they move within a half game of the Silver Spring Thunderbolts for first place in the North Division.
Your winning pitcher in this ball game is Drew Bellis. He extends his record to 2-0 on the year. The loser will be Nicholas Carls. On the day, the Gaithersburg Giants picked up 2 runs on 7 hits, no errors. Bethesda 8 runs on 6 hits, 2 miscues. They left 8 on base, but scored an equal amount and take home the victory, as mentioned, their 5th in a row. We'll return to action tomorrow in Alexandria, taking on the Aces on the road at Frank Mann Field. First pitch in that game will come at 6:30 p.m. Win or lose, obviously a win, but we said it before, just nice to be back at Shirley Povich Field.
Yeah, really excited. First time in a week we get to be back on the call. You and I felt a little rusty coming in. The Big Train didn't look rusty, especially on the mound. I mean, Kide Atatui, Drew Bellis, in the early going, they look like the 2 best pitchers at Sal Colangelo's disposal. Bellis especially. I mean, he's got 24 strikeouts in 11 innings pitched. Has allowed just 2 runs. Technically both earned, although I felt like calling that game back in Alexandria the first time that one of them should have been scored as an unearned run. Regardless, Bellis' ERA is a minuscule sub-2. And Kide Atatui sitting around the same with just 1 earned run on the season. The 2 of them make a lethal 1-2 punch. So they've pitched in the same game, I believe, all 3 times or 2 out of the 3 games. I think twice that they've appeared in the same game. And they were the Big Train's 2 best pitching performances of the season. Once against the Thunderbolts, a 3-1 win. And today an 8-2 victory. That was a shutout until the 9th.
The hitting has stayed hot, but boy oh boy, if this Big Train pitching gets hot, watch out, Cal Ripken League. A 5th win in a row. We'll be back with you on the quote-unquote radio broadcast. You can find it right here on the Big Train Baseball Network. Quincy and myself will be with you tomorrow at 6:30. We've enjoyed spending some time with you today for the first time in a while. We'll be back with you tomorrow, but for now, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Oh.